Right, yo, 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 it's your boy Yoshikidneo, and we are back in the World of Boridil, the adventures in Boridil. The last session was pretty neat because I got to play Nature, and I love Nature. He is my essentially he's one of my original D&D characters that I played whenever I was a player, but I have since decided to run two campaigns instead of play one and run one. So Nietzsche gets very little showtime. Being a high level druid, I don't want him to be relied on. So the moments that I do get to place him into the world to be kind of like a let me help you out real quick are very fun, and I love those moments. But today, the party starts out in the City of Guilds. This is the second group, and they actually haven't been to the City of Guilds as players, but they've been there as characters. They started out just like the other crew. They were peacekeepers, but they were peacekeepers. I think they were officially peacekeepers by the time the other party started going through their 3-year training as peacekeepers at the beginning of the campaign. And then they got ported off to Strahd's domain, and many years had passed with the copious amounts of time that they spent in Barovia. But the main reason for that was just to get them caught up to where the other party is, just in case we do some sort of interaction later on. But anyway, let's get into it.
For the longest of time, we couldn't figure it out. Alright, I'm hopping.
Oh, well, I guess we don't have guests. I'm just joking. I think they're both watching. Yeah. What up, guys? Y'all can stay in the chat if you want, but it's up to you. Anyway, the last we left our heroes, you guys were in the Twisted Wood over near the Ciavitas Empire area, and you were currently heading back from doing a couple things throughout. So there's a bunch of back and forth going from the city of Lathrius to spying on some Titanians, to coming back to going to fight a Spriggan, to fighting more Titanians in this corrupt tree thing that almost whooped y'all's ass because I pulled the wrong creature out. But anyway, you guys have so far been victorious in most of your doings in this, the Twisted Wood. But the new Elder was being appointed when you guys were coming back from closing the portal to Barovia with the help of Opal, the Cloud Hag. The new Elder is Lord Kenelon Thray, and he is a high noble of the Sealy Court in the Feywild. And he had told you guys, or actually he had demanded an audience with you all because he had heard of what you guys were, you guys are outsiders being let into this Eladrin village, essentially, where it's not really heard of unless you're like a really powerful, druid or something related to the Feywild in some way, shape, or form. Yet here you guys are, a bunch of, because I don't have another word, misfits, just trying to find their place after a long time in Barovia, just trying to survive the hells that are accompanied by that. And anyway, he had said, or he had given you guys a task to go and find the golem that the Titanian Empire had supposedly found, based on the report that you guys had given him. Which then he said that afterwards he would figure out how many forces he has based on your report. They would attack within a couple days or so. So be ready for that afterwards. This didn't really settle well with you guys. This obviously isn't your fight. You know that you kind of messed up when Strahd was able to influence you from beyond the portal, making it seem like you guys were back in Barovia somehow and slaughtered some of the villagers. But the elder before, Corwin, didn't see it as, your fault, essentially. So he He had just a couple tasks he wanted you to complete, and then your debt would be paid and you'd be free to go. Whereas this new guy, Lord Thray, does not seem to be as okay with that idea. So you guys plotted a way to get out of, having to fight someone else's war for them. But you were going to see this scouting mission through. And as you guys ended up finding the Titanian soldiers, you found that they were inside of this sort of valley, a small valley that had a bunch of cliff sides and trees surrounding it, and the whole battalion was able to fit within. And as you guys were preparing to go through stealthily, you ended up being somewhat found by a Titanian noble. You ended up catching the name later on, but her name was Matilda, and she was very anxious about holding you guys up at Spear Point. She was a very young woman. Based on what you guys had seen a couple days prior, you knew she was Titanian royalty. And eventually, Saberwolf had made a offensive move against her, and she screamed out. Snoopy was able to eventually teleport in front of her and use Goopy to essentially gag her to make sure she didn't continue to scream. But the yells were already heard. From the trees, Titanians that were in disguise had appeared as the, I guess, scarlet-haired woman came forth and greeted herself as Griselda and said that she wanted her sister back, even though she was fairly weak. She still needs to train her, yada yada yada. But if you guys were to turn her sister back over without harming her, she would let you guys go. You guys ended up doing that and left the general area, but because of Vikavor's invisibility spell, Goopy, Snoopy, and Spider version Quinn all turned invisible and snuck into the Titanian camp. They were able to see the golem site. They were able to see that they didn't have any sort of researcher or anyone capable of, I guess, resurrecting this golem. But they were holding their position, waiting for someone, it seemed. So Snoopy took this opportunity to arm Goopy with a torch, which he found one of the armament tents and lit it up. And when he was headed to the noble's tent, for whatever reason, that one did not get burnt. You guys escaped the area, got back to Lathrius, reported to Lord Thray, and told him what you had seen, and he had confirmed that he would be able to have enough people, enough combatants, to fight within a couple days, and he expected you guys to essentially be on the front lines with him. But that didn't sit well with you guys. So you went and talked to Opal. You guys got sort of, I guess you could say, motherly advice from her on what she thinks you guys should do. And essentially she said that she feels the same way as Corwin. You guys have definitely done your part for this town. Even though the Eladrin and, well, elves in general see somebody taking the life of an elf or Eladrin as a very, very, large sin. You are all mortals. You don't live as long as they do, so there's no way that you could ever hope to achieve to pay off the debt that Lord Thray was actually going to put you through. Luckily, Quinn had accidentally picked up an extra owl. And this owl was different from all the other sort of gray-colored barn owls. This one was brown. He had his suspicions, but it wasn't until later on in the day when you guys were sort of relaxing that the owl had wild shaped back into its normal form, which was Nietzsche, the bear, and Quinn's master. Nietzsche introduced himself to the rest of you, as this was your first time meeting, and after overhearing everything and watching y'all's essentially watching over Quinn from afar just to make sure that he was doing things right and didn't get into too much trouble. He said that he could get you out of here really quickly and that he would try to smooth things over with Lord Thray on y'all's behalf. You guys told him you wanted to go to the City of Guilds, and he made it so. He created wood copies of you guys. They looked almost exactly like you guys, but obviously they were more puppets, so they didn't really talk or have really any personality, but they looked exactly like you guys. And he said he would take care of things if it went south for you, as best he could. He then opened up a portal inside of the tree and told you guys to go on through, and that is where we will begin our session. As you guys run through the portal, you come out in a place that is familiar, but at the same time, it feels like it's been forever since you've been here, which technically is kind of true. You guys are currently in the Great Oak area as you pop out of the portal. And to set the scene, the Great Oak is a very large tree. It's probably about 20 feet in diameter, and it almost goes up to about probably 500, 600 feet tall. It is a very, very tall tree. As you guys appear outside of the tree, there's a number of folks that are kind of sitting there. Quinn, you see them. They're currently tending to a garden. And you know that they're using the widely used druidcraft cantrip to sort of like help stimulate the growth of these plants that they're currently planting. And as you guys just appear out of nowhere, all of them kind of look at you and sort of. One of them, he stands up. Let me find his token real quick so I can show you what he looked like. This gentleman right here. Very old elf. His face is haggard. He's got a decently long white beard, and you can see that he's covered with a different assortment of birds. There's probably like at least 6 or 7 of them, like on his shoulder, hanging out inside of his hair. Some of them are peeking out of their pockets and doing that little head bob thing, looking at you. But he stands up and approaches you guys. Someone want to tell me how exactly you did that?
Quinn, you might get us out of this situation.
Real quick, Brady, you said, hold on, did we make like a big scene, obviously?
I mean, a portal opened up on the tree and you guys just popped out of nowhere.
Oh, so we're currently on the tree right now?
Yes. You're like standing right outside of the perimeter of the tree.
Well, let's just say we needed a quick getaway, and I'd start to climb down the tree.
Well, you guys are on ground level. My bad.
Oh, I thought you said we were.
No. You're on the perimeter of the tree. So like, you're not in the tree. You're not in the tree branches. You're on the ground, but you're like right next to the tree. Anyway, what did you say? Sorry, I missed it.
No, I was saying we needed a quick getaway.
Might I ask a getaway from what? And where are you all from? I have quite a few questions, and you'll understand. But go ahead and where are you coming from, and why? Why did you need to get away from there quickly? Are there people that are looking for you? Are they going to come out through the Great Oak?
I look over to Quinn.
Is your
I give
Morphox
him-
fucking up?
I give him a bit of a nudge in his rib.
He must be having issues, or maybe he did his notorious AFK in the middle of RP. Well, I guess while he's gone, does anyone else want to answer the question?
Well,
Oh, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
Now we can.
Oh, my bad.
Were you talking
Y'all
this
can-
whole time?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
All right, well,
Anyway, yeah, go ahead and continue because we hear you now.
Oh, so I was gonna react to Saberwolf nudging me and everybody just looking at me. I don't know what you guys want me to say.
All right, and I do like a light shove to put him behind me. All right. Well, I will explain the full situation. Basically, to break it down, we are leaving a war we have no business being part of.
Where is this war? I mean, there's war all over the place right now.
It's in a, forest. It's yes, big forest.
Which forest? I'm quite well versed in the forest of the land.
I sent
I
a
forgot the
message
name.
to my buddy Saberwolf here and go, you know what? I don't know if it's a good idea to be telling this stuff.
And I message back. Maybe. But we gotta tell him something. He might be hostile. Well,
Are you all aware of where you turned up? I would assume that one of you was able to cast the spell, so obviously you must have an idea. But you all seem to be quite confused by my observation. How about we start? How about we start over? The name is Olus, and he holds out a hand as a greeting.
I go and over to him and I sit and I like put my paw out to shake.
He starts to speak in a very familiar, barky tone. Why, hi there, little guy.
Hello. And this is in dog.
Okay.
Is it in
So
dog
you
language?
yeah, he's speaking to you in dog. So essentially, like, as he like sort of kneels down to shake Snoopy's hand. And they do that back and forth.
Bow wow wow yippee yo yippee yay.
I'm
We
gonna
need to
walk
get
up.
you more folks.
I'm gonna walk up to him and be like, hopefully you guys don't start sniffing each other's butts.
That's rather rude, as I'm not a dog, obviously, but I can speak to them. What is your name?
I'm Vicar.
Vicavor? Yeah, it's a real shit name. He kind of looks around, trying to figure out what just said that, and he's like, do you have two personalities?
No, but I have a big giant wart on the back of my head. You want to look at it?
Not really, but I don't think I can decline at this point. Let's see it.
Okay, I just turn around. Like, let him look at
That
it.
that's awful. Why does it have a black eye?
Well, some assholes not too long ago took a stick to my head.
I coughed to myself.
Barbarians.
Exactly.
Well, another introduction then is needed. My name is Saberwolf, a traveling entertainer. Nice to
And
meet
a
you.
lichen.
Wolf? How do you know that?
I can smell you.
Yeah, once again, they say that all the time.
There's something you should understand about druid folk. We know all odds and ends of smelling. Dogs aren't the only one with a good sniffer, and he kind of plugs at his nose. Don't worry, there are plenty of lichen throughout the city of guilds. Obviously, they're able to keep it under control, and they end up gathering around the quarantine area whenever a full moon rises to try to keep a low profile. Not sure exactly how far along your curse is, but I would suggest maybe hanging out there. There is a full moon coming in about 4 days. But I'm sure you knew that.
Yes, I did. I'm actually pretty excited about that. Never met someone else similar to me. Might be a nice bonding experience. Thank you for that information.
Yeah, pleasure. What about the rest of you? This one right here, he points to Balrin. I've not seen Warforged with this kind of customization. Typically, Anton doesn't allow that kind of thing. Balrin would be like, "Oh well, you know, I don't come from this place, so I don't know who this Anton guy is anyway. Well, I'd probably watch out walking around town in the open, being so customized. If the wrong person sees you, could be bad."
I'm sure he should be okay, and I grab Balrin and give him a noogie. He has us around. Make sure he'll be okay. As long as he stays near me, no one will grab him.
And what about this young one? He looks at Quinn.
Oh hi. So yeah, my name is Quinn. Quinn Runa. I reach out to shake my hand.
And he does likewise. Pleasure to meet all of you. So I guess now that we've gotten through the customary part, what are you running from? The fact that you're able to port through this tree obviously means that you're an ally, but I've never seen any of you before, so I'm quite perplexed at the situation.
Are you aware of the Titanian?
Yes, they're one of the, if not the strongest empire currently, and during the 1,000-Year War, they won their fair share of battles, and pretty sure at one point in time they almost took over the Cyrodiil and Ciavitas empires during that war, and from what I've heard, they're doing it again currently, using this whole facade of demon lords invasions, being able, for whatever reason, they seem immune from the demon lords.
Indeed.
You're
But
escaping from
it's-
them?
No, not quite. I would say there is a big war getting ready to rage between them and the Eldrin. We just don't want to get in the middle of it. Unnecessary casualties is something that we don't want.
Fair enough. I definitely can understand that. Especially if you don't have any ties to that location or to the Empire of Titania, why put yourself in the middle of it?
Indeed.
Neutrality is a
Besides-
very hard course to walk, though, so keep that in mind.
Oh, I know that far too well. As long as I've been traveling, not the folk, good or bad, will want your head eventually.
So as you guys are talking real quick, Snoopy and Vikavor, you guys as Saberwolf and Quinn seem to be particularly interested in what Olus has to say. You guys end up seeing, as you are surveying the great oak, you look up and you can see this sort of green-looking woman sort of like meld out of the tree and observe you guys and then meld back into it. It's very brief. It only lasts for like maybe a second or two before she disappears.
I'm gonna run over to that spot and like scratch at it.
It's actually pretty high up. It's like 50 feet up the tree.
How far do you think I could climb up the tree before I blink? With a running start.
To get to her?
Yeah.
You could get to
Hold
where
on.
she was at.
Okay, I want
Because
to
technically, without a climbing speed, and because you've got like, you know, you're a rogue, you can climb a tree with counted as like difficult terrain, essentially.
Okay. And I can also like blink to branches and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Once you get high enough up, you just blink, blink, blink.
So I'll do that and like scratch at that spot and like do the beagle.
Hey!
thing.
Get down from there. Stop scratching the great oak.
But I saw
Can you
someone.
please hold on? And you're saying that in what do you mean you saw? She revealed herself?
Yes.
There is something quite strange about all of you. If you could please get your friend down, have him stop scratching the tree before he angers her.
I like jump and then blink down at his feet.
This is a mighty strange beast that you have with you. What other cool tricks do you have?
Oh, I don't have Goopy at the moment. I summon my mage hand and like shake his hand with it.
Ah. I've not seen anything like this before.
And then I draw my rapier and say, "On guard," and then I put it back.
You say it in dog talk or common?
I would say common. Is on guard
kinda
even though
like,
it's French common? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, it works. He kind of like has his mouth is like, or his jaws dropped like just a tad bit. He's kind of like, might I ask how you came across this this fantastic little dog?
It kinda just dropped off with us, actually.
And that's not even all that he can do. Oh, and so watch this. So I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna tell him to roll over.
I roll over.
Okay, and where's the good part?
I mean, have you ever tried to teach a dog how to do that?
It's just
I'm a
tricks.
druid. Of course I had dogs roll over. It's part of your fundamentals.
I'm just in the corner like snickering to myself.
Well, you have a fantastic beast, and I want to know where to find him. Boom.
Yeah.
I'll just go. I'll go kill myself real quick. Hold on.
You're
damn right.
For that. Well, yeah, he kinda dropped off with us. Nice doggy. He is a fierce warrior.
Seems so, especially if he's going to try to track down the ancient dryad of the Great Oak without a second thought.
Ancient dryad. Oi, Snoopy.
What,
What is this person looking like that he's talking about?
also, Brady, would I know about that?
Roll a nature check. Actually, roll history check. Never mind, not nature. Let's do history. See if nature told you. No, nature never mentioned it to you. So you don't you know what an ancient dryad is, because you know what a dryad is. They're these fey creatures that, essentially live within a tree. The older the tree, the older the dryad. The bigger the tree, the bigger the power that they possess. Typically, they are in more solitary woods and such like that. So, like the twisted wood, for instance, probably a couple hundred dryad living around there. But this one lives in this really big ass oak tree in the middle of a really big ass city.
Master never taught me anything about this one, or anything that I can recall.
And who would your master be?
His name is Nietzsche.
He kind of blinks at you, like that meme of that one dude that's like offended or whatever, and he's kind of like, "I'm sorry. Did you say that mistakenly?"
No.
You're Nietzsche's protege.
Yes, sir, I am. And
Well-
I show him, like, I guess the insignia that he has.
Oh yeah. Did I save that on here? I know I
don't-
sent it to you, right?
Yeah, you did.
Actually, I'll have to find it. I've got it somewhere. But I don't think I ever uploaded it to Roll20. I'll show it to you guys after I can find it, probably after the session. But yeah, Quinn shows this insignia. Apparently, it's the insignia of Nietzsche the bear, a very powerful druid. And as you show the symbol, Olu's kind of like, he's just like, now his jaw has definitely dropped. I'll be honest, I can't believe that Nietzsche is still active. I thought he was lost to us for quite some time. It all makes sense now why she revealed herself to you all. We owe
That's
Nietzsche
honestly
a great
how we got
debt.
here.
Nietzsche sent you here, which I guess answers the question of why you were allowed to use the Great Oak as your tether in between the two locations. That bears something. The ancient dryad that revealed yourself to her, her name is Quercinius. She's lived in this great oak for far longer than I think the city has even existed. And it's because of our ancient ancestors or something that they did, or perhaps the fact that she lives, or that her home is in the middle of a very large, dirty city, that she hasn't spoken to anybody in decades. Let alone revealed herself, but we've always felt her presence around here. And now you all coming here has graced us with her presence, even if, I didn't get to see her myself, but I have no real reason to think that your friend Snoopy over here would attack a giant oak tree for no reason.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Any reason you would suppose is why she would reveal herself?
Your guess is as good as mine, but perhaps she felt the tether between, or at least the relationship between Nietzsche and Quinn here, and wanted to maybe show a sign of good faith.
It sounds like she might like you, Quinn. And I give him a quick little nudge in it.
Yes, perhaps he doesn't care?
If he flies that way, I mean, I guess that's the way he flies. Hey, you like what you like. What do I got to say about it? That's awesome, though. You have a figure of high power that's actually interested in your existence. It's pretty interesting.
Maybe she knows that we killed a Spriggan.
I'm sorry, did you say that you felled a Spriggan?
Yeah, that's why they call me the Spriggan Slayer.
Well,
I've
only
not
you,
heard
you
that
call
title.
yourself that.
Spriggan Killer. I never heard that one. That's interesting. As I like slowly walk away.
So, how did you come to best a Spriggan? Typically, they are dryads that have gone crazy and have started to corrupt the land based on a foul death. Usually something took away their home, their tree, their sacred grove.
Oh, I have a big long story for that one, but I won't tell. I'm gonna just break it down. Well, it was a long, hard battle. I'll lean over to Snoopy and say, "Here, wink, wink," and then go back up. Long, hard battle, and it's pretty. It's a pretty relentless thing. Would not die. We were trying to take it out. It was corrupting everything. It was pretty hard. Yes, I
don't like
knocked me
the
out.
way that you're saying that.
And I was like,
What?
I pull out my rapier, and I was like, and then I was like this, and then I like start teleporting, and I'm like stabbing the air as I'm like in midair.
And he's like trying to follow you, and he gets dizzy after a second. He's like,
and then
well,
there's like these things, and they screamed, and then I was like, oh no, and I was like, stab, stab.
And in the end, Gwyn here. I slap him in his back. He was the one that dealt the final blow.
well, congratulations and thank you for healing whatever portion of land that Spriggan ended up destroying and corrupting. It should be a matter of weeks before it's back to normal, and hopefully it wasn't too far along its course. Spriggans are dreadful beings. We druids do our best to quell them if we can, but some of them are mighty powerful.
No kidding. Considering that we almost killed it, and towards the end of it, it just didn't want to die. That was quite weird, don't you think?
Yeah, especially when it's like maybe seven points of some arbitrary number away from, finally kicking the bucket, but it just won't happen. I've been there before.
Scumbaggery at its finest. Well, anyway, if you don't mind me asking, what exactly is going on over here?
Oh, he kind of turns around to show all the druids as they're, cultivating the land. They're planting flowers, they're planting vegetable gardens, fruit, trees, all types of, various things. Well, it's coming up on spring, should be here shortly, so we need to start getting our crops ready so that we can start handing them out to the less fortunate. The city's not the kindest to those that can't provide for themselves. There's actually a lot of places that they have to reside, and under those conditions, it's kind of a miracle that they get any type of food at all. So we put it upon ourselves to try to feed the less fortunate with our powers of over the earth. Or over nature, rather. Forget I ever said earth.
Yeah, what is this earth you talk about? Anyways, yeah, that's, I commend that. As a traveler myself, I usually visit orphanages and entertain the children there. Somebody needs hope, right?
Very true. If you're in the neck of the woods of the Tumbledown, perhaps you could visit the orphanage there. There's not a lot of kids that are orphaned, though, in this city. Well, there used to not be. This war that's going on, for whatever reason, most of the empires are sending their sick, dying, injured soldiers, citizens all over to the city of guilds. Probably because they've heard that this is a safe haven so far, which I don't really understand why, but we haven't had any troubles with the demon lords at all. Even Dagon has allowed ships to come and go freely, and I can't really put my finger on it why.
Holy hell, hold on. You said there's more demon lords?
Yeah.
Have you all been under a rock? I would expect something like that from you. And he points to Quinn, but where all have you been in the past couple months?
That's a funny story. We were dealing with a sort of sorcerer vampire. It's quite a touchy subject, you know. I would say we were in a different dimension, just to break it down nice and easy like.
That makes sense, yes. Well, I guess, yes, if you don't know, I'd be happy to kind of inform you on what I know. You know, the druids have tried to keep all the circles around the world sort of informed of what's going on. The only one we haven't heard from, and since this whole thing has started, is at the Vuberan Empire, where the High Council of Druids has been quite silent. But nonetheless, I will put us to the map of the world. Oh wait, no. I lied. I'm going to put us to the landing page, because that's where I have everything set up, actually. Well, the City of Guilds, there's always been kind of a knoll issue within the area, and at some point in time, actually I think the beginning of this whole thing, Yanagu was summoned at the city to the south of here, known as Krem. And he points to a map, which he pulls out using, he uses Druidcraft to sort of create a sort of patch of dirt, and he's able to draw using Druidcraft and stuff like that to give you guys a very detailed image of what's going on. After Yanagu came Dagon, the Demon Lord of the Sea, and from what I've heard, the Druid Circle of the Empty Swells and the Eerie Straits are all but gone. It's almost as if every humanoid civilization that lives underneath the waters is vanished all of a sudden. In the Cyrodiil Empire, the orcs were successful in summoning their demon lord, Sigorius, a very tricky bastard. He likes to shapeshift and plot from within. From what I'm hearing is he's actually about to destroy the Cyrodiil Empire as we speak. off in the Yodian Empire. Hold on. They're currently fighting Angazan, the demon lord of the apes. Really large, red, gorilla kind of creature. He's a force to be reckoned with. I've heard tales that the Sladora Empire is currently dealing with Baphomet, the demon lord of the Minotaurs. And the Guista Empire, unfortunately, has fallen to their demon lord, Coach Chichi. I think that's how you say it. I'm really bad at pronouncing his name, so I'll just type it out. I'll type out all of these for you guys, so that you have them. More than likely, you've heard of graz'zet, as he came from the Twisted Wood probably no more than 4 days ago, from what we've been updated. And I'm not 100% certain when or if this is going to end. If you don't know already, the abyss is seemingly endless. Have you heard of the Kirakuri Empire, or ever been able to get there?
Heard some words of it, yeah. Haven't been able
Well, currently they've got, I think, 5 demon lords that are all duking it out and have caused the whole location to be inaccessible by anybody on the outside. If you're ever sailing past it, you'll see a large cloud dome, and if you somehow get sucked into it or willingly go through it, more than likely you're going to either die or be spit back out. But from what I've been told is, even though there are 5 of them fighting for the title, Pazuzu, the Dark Angel, is currently winning and probably the one to take over that kingdom. It's quite honestly dreadful what's going on, but there's hope, I guess.
So essentially, we're dealing with a situation where that should be just one literal large battle royale, right?
Essentially, it happens every couple thousand years from what history has told us. I don't know much about it, but I do know someone that does, although she's not very forthcoming in any of this information, mind you. But if you wish to speak, or if you head to the Holly Oak, and he points sort of towards the southeastern portion, which, just so you guys know, there is a compass rose that depicts the location. This is the north side, this is the south side, east and west. But essentially he points this way, and you can see a very large sort of pink-leafed tree. It resembles the colorations of the Feywild itself, which is pretty cool. And you can see it it's only like maybe 50 feet above the city walls, and the city walls are anywhere between 30 feet in most areas, upwards to 60 feet in others, especially like where guard towers are and stuff like that. But Inniscraft is a quite powerful wielder of magic, and she's very old, ancient, probably as ancient as Quercinius is, if not older. She will impart information towards you, but it will come at a cost.
Oh, I've heard of her. Never heard anything about anything costing anything, so that should be interesting, right, guys?
Let me guess. She doesn't. We don't pay with money with her.
All these magical folk, it's always something of a surprise. At this point, I am not surprised.
Saberwolf, like, you can pay her.
Well, if it goes anything like everything with Opal, I doubt I will get any.
True.
But it wouldn't hurt to try, right? I give you a quick rub on the back of the head.
Go for it.
So since you all made the sound decision to come to the City of Guilds, is there a reason for it? Or were you just thinking of the first place to get away?
I stretch a little bit. Figured a nice change of scenery would do as well. I'm not too used to staying somewhere too long, you know?
Yeah, and also we're looking for a couple different things. Are there any people that sell magical items in this town?
Kind of shrugs. He's like, I don't really peddle or anything like that. I'm sure maybe you can head to either the Golden Square, the Artisans District, or the Gilded Avenue and maybe find something, but I don't seem to recall any place that just outwardly says, hey, we sell magic stuff. Come and buy it.
Right? You haven't heard of a thing called the Rod of the Pack, have you?
Can't say that I have. It's actually quite a strange request, honestly.
Well,
Whose rod do you want?
You seem very knowledgeable. That's why I would ask you.
I go over and whisper a bit to Vikavor. Yeah, it seems like more of a black market, don't
Yeah, I'd say beats me. I have no idea.
You're young yet. We'll figure it out together. Well, either way. So you said, well, what would be a good, if we need to rest eventually, where would be the best place to go?
Well, I'm assuming you're not part of the old Peacekeepers Guilds. They've actually dissolved and they've turned most of the Imperial College area that was ran by the Peacekeepers Guild into a sort of inn. But if you like a little bit more of a...
I was actually a peacekeeper.
Oh. Well,
For a
I'm
little
sure
bit.
maybe you can find... I think there's a gentleman named Saris who's still been dealing with the divvying up all of the assets of the Peacekeepers Guild to other empires and such. Maybe he has a place that could be used for sleeping and such, but there's quite a few different places. The Gnu Inn.
Do I know him, or does he know me?
I would say, yeah, you would know who Saris is. Saris is kind of what in the Peacekeepers Guild. The way it would work is you have the individual squads, and then each squad had essentially like a captain or a handler of like what contracts they did and things like that. And Saris was one of the handlers. Actually, I think he was new. Never mind. Saris, when you knew him, was part of the like administration section of the Peacekeepers. He was very, very knowledgeable on what groups would be better fitted for certain contracts and stuff like that. So he handled a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
Just real quick, cause the audio was fading in and out. Did anybody ask about Inniscraft?
Not specifically. He has mentioned it, and he has pointed out where she is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Other than
Also-
that, you've got the Crossroads Inn. If you can find it, good luck. It's be on the lookout for a normal door that's very out of place. You'll find it.
Question. Where would we be able to get, like, I guess, like a map of the area? This place seems pretty big. Are there any other notable areas that we should check? And also, what can you do for work?
Well, the Artisans District is typically where you would go. If you head to Cart Street, you might be able to find the map maker of the city. As for notable places, really, it all depends kind of what you're looking for, but there's always something going on in the City of Guilds. It's too big not to. If you do head to the Cart Street to find a very notable map, the gentleman you're looking for is Tandler. You'll know him when you see him.
Tandler is. Oh. Alright, so, guys, where do you want to start? I have a good idea.
How about we all take turns? Whoever makes their mention first, we follow them, and we just keep going around town until we decide to find something.
How about
Sounds good.
instead, you guys can roll initiative, and we'll go person by person. I'm gonna pop out your tokens real quick so that you have those to click that. And while you guys do that, if you want to talk amongst yourselves real quick, I have to use the bathroom. Also, for some reason, Quinn.
I know where
didn't
I
come
wanna
up on
go.
the thing.
Ooh,
But now he's
Brady,
there.
you should tell me how
Yo.
to pop up tokens without having to copy and paste them.
Yeah, I can teach you that after the session for sure.
Sweet.
So be thinking. Obviously, I don't remember. Did we? Obviously, Vikavor and Quinn were not peacekeepers. Were you kind of keeping the same somewhat backstory of Saberwolf as you were with Ed, or is it a completely different? Like he was never associated with the Peacekeepers Guild, Kevin?
Say he's heard of them for sure.
Okay, but he was
knows
never a
so much
part.
that he doesn't know. Exactly.
Cool, perfect. All right. Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I know my main focus for Saberwolf right now is visiting the children and then eventually meeting other Lycans. That's like the only thing I care about at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we all get together and do the Inniscraft thing, I think we'll be okay doing our own separate.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
gonna get a map of the area though.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm trying to mingle.
All right. I'm trying to use something to get an extra spell slot, so I'm not so disabled all the time. So, do you guys know of any other way I can get an extra spell slot with the Warlock?
Well,
I don't even know how you get items.
So there's items that I don't know if they're homebrew or not, but you can store spells in some items. So like say on a down day, you'd cast a spell into it and it would hold it. So then the next day you would have 3 spell slots. Like you could cast a fireball into it and you would be able to use it without using a spell slot. There's also items that just innately have spells that you can cast.
Yeah.
So like say a staff that has invisibility charges, so then you wouldn't be wasting a spell slot on invisibility.
Yeah. That's why I was trying to get that rod, because I talked with Brady about it, and because that one specifically gives you an extra spell slot once per day.
Yeah, and honestly, that's just like the problem with warlocks. But you do get them back after short rests, which now is what 10 minutes in Brady's new.
Yeah, true.
Format.
I mean, it's
Oh
a
yeah,
lot
I
better
meant
now.
to ask you guys about that actually. If y'all were cool with trying it out.
don't care.
Yeah, we can try it.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm down with it.
Yeah.
It makes me
Since
better.
you guys are, well, I don't think it really takes away from anybody, because really the only thing that's changing is when you get your HP back.
Oh, I thought it really more affects when you get your spell slots back.
Oh,
Because honestly,
Did you
'Cause
see
HP
the
you
D&D
get-
announcement?
Yeah, I read it unless you changed it where you get your spell slots. Wait,
Yeah, so
do we now
essentially
get
the
our
way it
spell slots
works.
after everyone?
No, you do. So everything that you would get back on a short rest or a long rest stays the same. The major things that are different, the only thing that changes about a short rest is now it's only 10 minutes long. You can still, like for warlocks, for instance, you get your spell slots back. For everyone else in, you know, other classes that also get stuff on a short rest, you get those back. But everyone else, or everyone can spend their hit dice in order to heal up a little bit. So that's how short rest work. You can only still take 2 of them per day, per 24-hour period. Long rest are 6 hours long instead of 8. It's 3 hours of light activity, so like keeping watch, maybe reading a book, or, you know, identifying a magic item or tuning to it. And then 3 hours of no activity, so like sleeping and stuff like that. You get half of your hit dice at the end of the long rest back, just like you do a normal long rest. You can spend your hit dice during the long rest to get HP back. You get your, let's see. Oh, whoops, I accidentally fudged up on y'all's announcement compared to the other announcement. But you get your spell slots and stuff like that too, so, and any racial abilities and stuff like that. Then there's a third rest option, the full rest. And this is a period of anywhere between 1 to 3 literal whole days, so 24 hours to 72 hours of nothing but downtime activities, where at the end of it you get all your HP back, you get all of your spells, all your class abilities, everything. The only thing would be, you know, if it's something like a staff or, you know, a wand that gets X amount of charges per dawn, you would still roll that, and based on how many days are being passed, you would roll it that many times. That's essentially the system, how it would work. So
Yeah,
what it's doing, the whole goal of the system is to make it to where now instead of trying to manage like all your spells and, you know, class abilities and stuff, now you're managing your HP, which, you know, makes more sense in theory. Kind of like when you're out in the middle of the wilderness, there's really it makes no sense that you're just, oh, let's just, you know, sleep it off real quick. We just got our asses whooped, but tomorrow we'll be fine and we'll continue. So this system tries to make it to where it's a little more grittier, I guess you could say, but it's still fair.
Yeah, that's why I was saying it actually gives me a reason to actually use my rapid regeneration, because like I haven't had to use it at this point to actually roll for that. So we'll try this out, and I'm actually down for it, because I can actually use something that I don't use.
Yeah, so that's the general gist. And since you guys are essentially starting a new arc, a new story arc, I figured we'd go ahead and start it with you guys for sure. The other group, I'm going to start it once they're done in the Ancient Rise, when they get done with that whole fun-filled try to light the Pillar of Light adventure.
How many hours of writing did we destroy by wanting to leave?
Not too much, honestly. I can explain my DM style afterwards. Most of it comes from what I think about, like on numerous weeks, and you know, I jot the notes down, but all of it's really in my head.
That's good.
Yeah. All right, so starting with Vikavor, Is there... What exactly does Vikavor want to do? And I'm assuming you guys aren't splitting up. Are you guys staying together and kind of going one person at a time, just trying to find whatever they're looking for?
I think sticking together is. I would stick together.
Yeah, we're in unfamiliar territory, so it's best to stay together.
Yeah. I don't have anything in particular I want to do right now. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm fine sticking together.
I thought you wanted to go to a magic shop.
Well, I mean, if we're somewhere there and we see them selling it, yes. He didn't really give a good like a exact spot, did he? Besides just like the general places selling things.
No, essentially,
we-
from what he said, is there's no known magic store where just any person can roll into. That doesn't exist. Is kind of what he was saying.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm just keeping on the lookout for like if there is like a place that might have more information on things.
I want to, as I'm going through, like, look for anything written down that might be in Thieves' Cant about an underground trading ring or anything of that
Okay.
sort.
Go ahead and roll me perception check. And this is using your sight, so no advantage, unfortunately. Vikavor, roll me a perception check as well.
Oh my! Hey, nine's
The
still
first-
not like bad.
Yeah, it's
know
not bad at all, no. But it's just funny that for some reason, all your rolls start out like every session real shitty. Look at that, he did the same thing, a 9.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, but he rolled a 6.
Roll for one.
That's true.
Don't forget, I'm also an expert in it, so like persuading the DM. Did it?
Yeah.
What did we roll initiative for? I'm confused on that.
On who gets
Oh,
to
that
go
was to... Since you guys are doing downtime activities, essentially, or exploration, and it sounds like everyone wants to go to somewhat different places as an individual, but keep the party together, the initiative was to see what turn we take them in. That's why I was asking what you want to do specifically, since you
okay.
rolled first.
All right.
Do you retract your nothing? Do you have an idea of a location you want to check out?
I want to go. Actually, I want to ask. His name's Olus again. I keep reading that the
Yeah.
wrong way. Olus.
Let
I wanted
me
to ask him
actually-
more.
You wanted to ask him what now?
Just some more questions about like if there's any mages or warlocks that he knows about in town.
Any more mages? Yeah, there's plenty of them. The Peacekeepers were chock full of them. In fact, the Imperial College still has quite a few, I guess you would call them mage colleges, but they're not the mages that you're probably thinking of. These are mages that use their magic to essentially go around and beautify the city or to clean the water supply, to do all the mundane tasks, things like that.
Yeah. But if they're
Made
mages at the college, do you think they would be more educated on certain aspects of magic and stuff?
Oh, definitely. Yes. They learn all the basics of magic and stuff. It's just the spells, I guess, that they are taught are not going to be as powerful as what, say, your pal Nietzsche can do.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any warlock friends here in town?
That's a very specific question, but yes. A former
I-
peacekeeper who's, since the dissolve of the Peacekeepers Guilds, she doesn't really do too much. But her name is Ida Solseer. You should be able to find her. She kind of wanders from place to place. but more than likely, you'll find her in the artisans district, as she does have a knack for handcrafted goods.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you for the information.
You're quite welcome. If you do see her, typically you'll know that you've seen her because her eyes... very strange. Very strange.
Okay. What was the... You said she was crafting. What was the location she was at again?
The artisans district.
August. That's what it was. Okay. Thank you.
Would Vikavor like to take the party to the artisans district?
Mine's not so like a huge thing. I know Quinn probably wants to do something big,
Okay.
bigger than me. So I'll give it my turn.
All right. So Snoopy is the only thing you're specifically trying to do is pick up on Thieves' Cant for an underground like fighting ring or something like that.
Oh, I was like more looking for like an item ring to find where to buy stuff, or maybe there's sneaky contracts or information.
Okay,
and then
gotcha.
I'd like to find like a town map where there's a "You are here," and I see quarantine, death row, and boneyard. Those three
Yeah.
things sound interesting.
Does this not? Does this interest
The
you over here?
boneyard.
Oh, dog shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a literal place called dog shit here.
Honestly, I'm pretty cool with like, I don't really have any need for anything at this time, so.
Okay. Saberwolf.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind trying to locate an inn and also locating possibly the orphanage.
Okay. So for an inn, from what Olus told you, and to sort of help make things make sense about the city, let me do this real quick. You look at the very bottom underneath where your tokens are. I've got text. So the outer city is going to pertain to anything on the outskirts of the town. The first ring is obviously anything within this portion. The second ring is within this portion, and then the inner city is essentially where all the big wigs live. I will say, Snoopy, you know most of this stuff because you used to live here for a very short period of time, but you did. Saberwolf, you've probably come and gone before, probably no extended stay. And Vikavor, more than likely, you and Timar would stop here. And I'll actually say that because you've stopped here, you've actually met Ida Solseer. And you know her to be like the bigwig warlock within this region. But for an inn, there are a couple places. How much are you trying? Are you trying to do very cheap, very moderate, or spendy location?
Let's do moderate.
Okay. So with the help of Snoopy, go ahead and roll me a perception check, which means at advantage. Okay. As you guys are starting to walk around, you end up grabbing, or Snoopy ends up being like, ooh, we need a cart to take us around because this place is big. I'm pretty, the measuring tool is to scale. So this whole first ring is
Oh
about
my
a
God.
mile. Yes, it's a big place. It's an actual big ass city. So you guys end up hailing a cart, and the gentleman asks you, "Where are you trying to go?" And you're like, "We're just looking for a place that we can sort of rest and stuff like that, but not pay too much." So he tells you about Ginu Inn, which is in the first ring in the forge sort of area. He says it's not a terrible location, based on the fact that it's on the outskirts of where all of the, blacksmith and stuff is. It's actually done up really nice. The fees aren't the best in town, but for an average night stay, it's the best deal you're gonna get.
Perfect. Well, I guess we could head there once we decide to settle down.
And Quinn, you wanted to go get a map?
Yep, and try and find like work for downtown.
Okay. So the gentleman tells you you won't find a better map maker in town, so I'll take you right there. And he pulls off the cart, and as he's, it's an open air cart. As you guys are moving along, he goes, "Oh, and by the way, my fee is just a gold, and I'll take care of where you want to go for an hour. So we can go to many different places."
Want me to handle it?
Yeah.
All right, gold it is. I went in. I hand him.
Perfect. Take you right to Cart Street, where you can find Tamler. Usually, every other day, he'll decipher any of your maps for you as best he can, and the days that are not those days, he has maps for either trade or for sale. So you guys start heading off from the Great Oak, and as you cross over into the Artisans District, you notice that the general mood of this place doesn't seem to be as lively as you would expect a shopping area to be. There's definitely not a lot of people that are looking to buy, artisan goods and stuff like that right now. More than likely because of what's going on. So, but Snoopy, with your perception check, you do see in Thieves' Cant, in some of the graffiti on some of the walls and stuff, you can see things that are talking about meet at the Ruby Palace near the Golden Square tonight at midnight. The next trading session is going to happen.
I'm gonna relay that to my group. Hey guys, see that over there? And they see this like weird picture, I would assume, with some. Actually, Thieves' Cant's more like it's telling you something, but then it means something else, right?
Thieves' Cant can be in speech form, yes. You're saying stuff, but it means something completely different. But there are symbols that they use and markings and artwork that they do to also relay information.
Okay. And I'll say, hey guys, if we want to have like an underground trading thing, we'll meet at the Ruby Palace at midnight.
Guess we'll tag along with you if you're trying to do that. I'm all for it. Just to watch your back if anything happens.
Yeah, and buy some cool shit.
I just think back to Snoopy. I'm like, it sounds sketchy enough. Let's do it.
Yeah. These are my
Mark.
boys.
Well, just to be clear, we're not looking to buy, inhibitors, right?
No?
Oh, okay. Oh, just make sure. I didn't mean anything by it. Just making sure. I didn't thought you fly with the the snips and the shots and you know what I mean, right?
Well, yes, but actually, no.
Oh, ignore me. I just it's my I haven't been to many of these, so yeah, I'm a little let's just continue. All right, let's keep moving.
Okay.
Okay. You guys end up getting to Cart Street, and sure enough, there's a push cart that has all types of scrolls. It's got all types of like ink wells, different ink kits, a bunch of different paintbrushes and stuff like that, and scroll carriers and things, blank notebooks. And you see this elderly-looking gentleman that's sort of just pushing it, and he's pushing it very, very, very slowly. But your, I guess, taxi driver ends up pulling off to the side. Yep, there's Tamler right there. He'll be able to get you a map of the area and anything else you probably want with regards of a map.
Ooh, you know what? It's been a long time since I did one of these, but guys, I think I want the journey. I want to record our journey. Think at just imagine all the debauchery going on. It might make for a nice tale for the future, right?
Yeah, that sounds good. And it's okay, say Wolf. You can call it your diary.
No, it's not a diary. It's just just recording my thoughts and people we see, people we encounter. It can be quite entertaining, right? I could tell the kids the stories,
True. Sounds good then.
All right, I will grab
give a
one.
glance to Vikavor, like, yeah, a diary.
I hop out the carriage real quick, and
Okay.
go towards him to see if I can purchase a
Okay, and as he's pushing his cart, you can tell that he's got his eyes completely closed, but he can hear you coming up. Customer! Or perhaps you have something you'd like me to read? And you see him take his eyeballs and kind of like open them up and put these spectacles on that keep his eyelids open. Almost like the beginning intro of Robot Chicken.
Yeah. Oh, don't need anything read, but do you happen to have, any journals and some writing utensils I could purchase from you?
Oh, nothing red. And he undoes the thing. Yes, I have all types of materials. You smell like you could use a bath. How much of these materials do you need?
I'll take 2 of each. A notebook of some kind and a couple of writing utensils.
Perfect. And he starts to move around his cart with, very slow old man movements. And he grabs you 2 notebooks and he grabs you this sort of quill and hands it to you. This one, we've actually configured a device to where the ink is within the pen. And when you start writing on the paper, it releases it very slowly. It's quite... I wish they had them when I was younger.
That's quite interesting. It's been a long time since I wrote anything. Could be like a little fun thing. Expanding my imagination. I appreciate this. How much for it?
Free of charge. You seem to be down on your luck from what I can smell. All of you smell really dirty.
Burn.
And say thank you.
Thank you. Well, A map.
Can I cast druidcraft on
On Saberwolf to do what?
make him smell like lilacs and berries and stuff like that, so he doesn't.
Yeah, definitely. So you cast Druid Craft, and oh, I do love the smell of spring. It is that time. Oh, but there's that funky smell of you all again. Hold on a second, and he pulls out a handkerchief out of his pocket and blows his nose. Oh, I had to get that out of my system really fast.
Before I leave, you know where I could get a map?
I have maps. What type of map? I love maps.
Hey, Quinn, come here.
Yeah. And I go toward them.
You said you were needing a map. Go ahead and describe to the men what you need.
Oh, I just need a map. If I could get a map of I guess the world and of the city.
Sure, I can do both of those. My map of the city is far better than my map of the world, but the map of the world will show you notable locations, mostly the capitals of the empire and maybe a few of their cities. Some major, natural occurrences and things like that.
Yeah, that'll work too. That way we can have a general idea of where we're at, guys. So if we could do that, that'd be awesome.
Perfect. Well, here you go. And he pulls out 2 scrolls and hands them to you.
Hey, Vikavor.
Nice.
Anything you need from here before we leave?
I do not think so. This guy has a lot of great wares, but mostly not what I'm looking for.
All right. Definitely do appreciate it once again. And, sorry for the smell.
Oh, it's quite alright, honestly. I am used to it. I smell the same.
Huh. Well then, maybe we're smell brothers then, right?
Don't know what that means, but sure.
Huh. All right. Well, thank you again. You have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, okay?
I plan to, and I hope that you all have a wonderful time. Be safe out there.
You do the same. Now walk back to the carriage. Well,
What's the
Alright.
damage?
the damage. What do you mean?
Yeah, how much do we owe? How much do we owe you, sir?
Nothing. You all seem to be quite down on your luck, so this is my charity to you.
Oh, and people here are really nice.
That is incorrect.
Oh, what do you mean?
People are somewhat nice, but honestly, they're not as nice as they could be, that is for sure. So just be careful. Most things don't come free.
That sounds like a foretelling of a future event that we're going to talk about quite soon. Well, anyways, I guess we ought to move on, right? Where to next?
Brady, I have like a little grocery list. Do I just like give that to you?
Sure.
Okay, when it's finished, because I actually gotta go through it, then I'll give it to you. And I guess
yeah,
I
that's
just
fine.
tell my-
More than likely, if it's like if it's mundane stuff that you guys want to buy, and even if we're not in session, we can retcon that you purchase things like if you want a couple extra daggers, or if you want an extra backpack or some candles or some shit. just let me know, and I don't have any problem like retconning that kind of stuff.
Can you mark again on the map where we are currently?
You guys are at Cart Street. It's right over here.
Cart Street. Okay.
Hmm.
I also wanted to ask the shopkeep, like, does he know like any notable areas, like any areas of interest here?
Everything is interesting to somebody, but can you be more specific? Is there something you're looking for, or someone perhaps, or I guess a service you're looking for?
Well, specifically, the door.
The door?
Yeah, the mysterious door to the shop. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Kind of scratches his head. I don't quite follow, but I've never seen a mysterious door just appear nowhere. Are you quite alright? Is he alright?
I can't deal. All right, I'm done. Quinn walks out.
Okay. So you walk away from the push cart.
All right. Now that we got what we needed, you know what I thought about? I wonder, would there happen to be, because we all need money, right? Need to do some work. I wonder if there's anything in the bounty hunting market.
Yeah, I'm down to find out because I need some money.
Yeah, we could ask Olus in the carriage. He probably knows best.
Eluse is not with you guys.
He's not. I'm okay. My mic's been kind of dropping in and out. Earlier, when you said there was a guy who would guide us for 1 gold. That was not Olus.
No, that was just some random dude. Think of him as a New Yorker taxi cab driver.
Oh, thanks. Okay, that's where I'm confused. Again, sorry, guys. My for some reason everybody kind of dropping out like the last couple words they're saying.
True.
Hey, excuse me, sir. Driver. I'm wondering.
Yes. Where to next?
Do you know of any possible, bounty hunting boards anywhere? Anybody need any personal, work?
I'm sure maybe if you go to the former peacekeepers, maybe they have some contracts that are still outstanding and can be taken, but more than likely not. There is a group that I think has been trying to do some sort of like creature roundup around here. And I think they're paying high dollar if you're able to bring the creature back alive, and they're paying about 1/3 of it if you bring it back dead.
I'm wondering what the odds are if we were to bring him back alive. It's a funny situation.
Yes,
All right,
it's not. They kind of hang out towards the docking area, which we happen to be close by. You want to swing by it?
Guys, do you want to swing by it?
Yes. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, little friendly violence would never hurt anybody much. All right, let's.
All right, then. Heading to Salador's Fine Provisions. And the cart starts moving. As you guys are going, couple things that you definitely note. In the first ring, after you guys pass through the gate that separates the first ring to the second ring, the road goes from cobblestone to this sort of dirt path. From what you can tell from this is that the first ring is typically a lot more poor in terms of upkeep and standards as opposed to the second ring. There aren't a whole incredible lot of people on Cart Street, but you can definitely tell that this dirt road has seen some wear and tear over the years. Obviously not getting as much traction as trade isn't really like, at the top or at its peak right now with everything going on in the world. But after, it only takes about 5 minutes for the cart, or actually does it? Takes about 10 minutes or so for the cart to get to the new docks, and you eventually you pull up next to what looks to be like an open air inn, and you can see a lot of folks that look like sailors are, all sitting around different tables, various tables and things, drinking their sorrows away. Definitely smells like fish. But it's tasty fish. It's not like a normal fishy smell when you go to like a fish market. You can see that there's a large pit barbecue kind of thing where they're putting a bunch of the fish on and cooking it up to order. And as you guys pull on up, you can see that your cab driver is kind of looking off, and he's like, you see that white dragonborn over there? His name's Corgus. He's the one that I think is looking for folks to send out into the wilds and capture those creatures. So you'll want to talk to him.
Alrighty then. I guess we could get some word on it. You mind waiting for us for a bit?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Got another 20 minutes on your time, so...
Yeah, it shouldn't take too much longer. If not, another gold piece should suffice after that, right?
Yeah, perfect.
Alright. I hand him another gold piece and then walk out the cart. Anybody coming? Or you wait?
I'll go with you.
Yeah, I'll come too.
Same.
Alrighty, let's go, guys.
Balrin, you stay in the cart.
Okay.
Just look at Sticky. He's like, stay.
And as we're getting ready to walk, I'm like, everybody's walking normal speed. I'm sitting there like making notes of like trying to walk in slow motion.
Okay. So as you guys are walking up, obviously there's like these sort of these wooden stakes in the ground that are, I guess, tethered to each other with rope to kind of keep it as kind of like an enclosure, to make sure people know like, hey, this is the place. As you guys are walking into the inn, a gentleman that's wearing a dark cloak and a mask on his face bumps into you guys, and when he does, he kind of like steps back a little bit as if he's sorry.
Hey, don't worry about it. We're just passing through ourselves.
Perfect. He starts to walk away.
That was weird.
Hold on, what?
Exactly.
I'll show you what he looked like when I can find his token. I have so many tokens. The man looked like this.
Dope. That was a interesting character. what this story is.
Should we find out?
Should we find out? Yeah.
Yeah, I say we talk to him.
And we can certainly, yeah, let's go. We got time.
You guys go
how
talk
far-
to the man that bumped into you.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
He doesn't,
Excuse
he's not very far away from you guys, but
Can you present that token again?
sure. Yes. Did I offend you?
No,
I
no,
do
no, no, not at
apologize.
all. No, I just, you look, don't take this the wrong way. You look kind of interesting. Not in that way, of course. Wondering.
And so do you.
Yes, I don't mind the grotesque bumps you see and have a
Oh,
bit of
that's
a
cool
run in.
mask.
Yes, I won't. It's honestly disgusting. Far too gross for my taste, but your friend, and he points to Vikavor, because I assume you haven't put your hood back up, right? Or have you?
I haven't. No.
Okay. He has a second face on his head.
Oh, believe you me, we've ragged on him plenty of times about it. I'm just wondering, where are you from, friend?
I'm from
And what's
here.
your name?
My name?
Quinn Runa at your service.
I was
yes,
about to
how
say, it's
rude of
quite
us.
rude.
Extend my hand.
Saberwolf.
You can call me Joker.
Hmm. Oh, so what kind of work do you do? You're a hunter of some kind?
You could say that.
So what are you, the devil?
I do hunt for... No. Devils are far beyond my capabilities. But I am always hunting down for the next job. Work is a little tougher these days because of everything going on.
So you're a mercenary. Interesting.
Brady, does that laugh like echo like that?
Yep.
Now when we hear it, does it sound like it's just echoing from anywhere, or is it coming directly from?
No,
you?
it's coming
Like, you
from
get what I'm
him.
saying?
And you're saying the echo
okay.
because, like, he's doing multiple laughs. He's like, ha, 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 ha. It's not like he does it once and then it echoes on itself.
I'm thinking he's laughing, and then like while he's laughing, the echo happens.
Oh, no,
Like
no.
another laugh happens. Oh well, what kind of work do you do?
It depends on who's buying my contract.
Alright,
I'll tell
well,
you
quick-
now, some of it's not very friendly. Some of it is quite easy. Others don't really handle my necessity for the job very well.
That
I won't
sounds
lie,
kinda
I've
interesting,
taken-
guys.
A life or two.
Oh. I mean, we're looking for work, guys, right?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. That's exactly what we're looking for. Do you happen to need help with...
Go ahead.
Do you happen to need help with anything?
Well,
Oh,
where do
no,
we
no,
procure these jobs?
It all really depends. How law-abiding are you?
Honestly,
We're flexible.
we're not too good, we're not too bad. We're right in that neutral zone.
Yeah, I'd say it also depends on how much money we can get.
Yes,
Well-
that, not point at Vikavor.
I'll tell you. I could possibly maybe get you a dealing with one of my employers, but just so you're aware, they don't really take no for an answer after meeting them. So you need to be doubly sure that you're ready for whatever it is that they request at the time.
All right. This sounds like it could be interesting.
Uh, uh, group huddle, real quick.
Take your time.
Hey, this
And he walks away politely from you guys, and he stands off towards the side, kind of just like stargazing in a way, just looking around at random spots in the sky. He's probably about 10 feet away from you.
Hey, this guy, is quite an interesting character. He kind of has, like, you know, he seems like he has a dark soul.
Yeah, we're pretty law-abiding, right? I mean, this is kind of the first time I've been put in a situation like that.
Honestly, the only non-law abiding person here really is our pal here. I'm sitting there. I'll lean down to Snoopy and give him a pat in the head. I try to keep my nose clean for the most part, but doesn't mean I back down from a fight. But I'm assuming just from what he's wearing, it's some good paying work. But there's risks. As if there's risks with everything we do. Just look where we are. But honestly, how do you feel about it, Gwen? Do you feel okay with this? Do you want to try it? Or do you think we should continue with the small petty work?
If you're talking, Gerald, we don't hear you.
Well, what was said? My audio keeps going out.
I'll just say it. Honestly, it really depends on how you feel. We have to all come to agreement. Don't want to be the only one making the plans. I want us all to agree on one. If this is some potentially life-threatening work, I don't want to put us all in danger.
Well, majority rules, right? All right, so here we go. All in favor to go? Raise your hand.
I raise.
You saw me. I was like starting to draw a square around Quinn, and then he said that, and I stopped and put my hand in the air.
What about you, Vikivor?
I'm fine with it as long as the reward is worth the risk. Or vice versa.
Indeed. Plus,
I mean, we were trying to do good, and I whispered, "Summoned a demon lord." So, can it really be that much worse?
Oh, you guys summoned a demon lord?
No.
Well, technically, me and Vikavor technically summoned the demon lord.
Yeah, but it happens, you know.
Yeah, we're unconscious, so technically we had no part in it, but we did have a part in it, if you know what I mean. But either way, we need to.
I'm out.
Either way, I am iffy about the situation, honestly, because this could mean we could be working for this employer for a long time. We just need one job, right? Or do we plan on playing this little game for a while?
Well,
What else are we gonna do?
We still gotta meet Miss Kraft.
Ooh,
We should probably
Innes.
meet her first. Yeah.
Oh.
Is that who you were gonna take us to?
no, not me. Forget I said anything.
Interesting. Well, all in favor to go? I say aye.
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 Majority
Where are we
rules.
going?
You're gonna take us to your contractor,
Oh,
I guess.
I won't take you anywhere, but I'll tell you where to go. You'll
Alright.
have to wait until midnight tonight. Do you know the town very well, or will you need directions on your little map that you got?
I hand him my map.
I just start laughing every time he laughs.
Your dog is quite silly. Now, what you're gonna do is tonight at midnight, there's gonna be a big trade at the Golden Square. Underneath the Ruby Palace is where a lot of deadly people will be meeting. This is a auction of sorts, but I don't think that you all are in the estate to buying the property that they have for sale. But there's going to be plenty of people there that are looking for workers to do any type of job. Go with an open mind, and when you do approach the alleyway to the south of the Ruby Palace, tell them that Joka sent you, and make sure you use that little device I slipped in your pocket. Saberwolf, if you would check your pocket, there's this small coin.
Huh. Oh, sleight of hand. Nice. Hey, Stoopy, I think he got you beat.
Oh yeah. Check your other pocket.
What's
And
in his other
as-
pocket?
As he checks his other pocket, I want to try and slip in. Hold on, I need to open up my inventory. I have some funky things. Sorry.
I'm just sitting there like I just watched David Blaine do magic, all in shock.
No fucking way, David Blaine.
I sneak in. I have like a little tiny knife, like that's made out of bone, a human bone knife. Kind of, I think you described it as like a pocket knife almost. I'm gonna try and slip that into his pocket as he's reaching for his other pocket. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep. Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check, and we'll go against his passive perception score, which is not 26. So, as Saberwolf dips into his pocket and pulls out this coin, and you can see that the coin has this sort of, it's the same mask that Joker is wearing, but you can see that there are like these. So let me zoom in. So you see where the like red spaces are? Instead of the red spaces going above and below, it's just a single red sort of teardrop on the right side of his of the mask on that coin. And the other side is the exact same, so it's a double-sided coin of the same thing. So you pull out the coin, and Snoopy's like, check your other pocket, and you do, and you're like, there's nothing there. And then he's like, check your other pocket. And you pull out a small little dagger that wasn't there before. You might be quite the prodigy. And you can see Joker has his hands in front of him, and he's kind of rubbing them back and forth like he's found some sort of treasure.
You sneaky bastard.
Just tails all wagging. You know how I do.
Perfect. All right. Well, Mr. Joker, or yes, Mr. Joker. Do appreciate this encounter. You're a nice fellow. Hope we meet again.
Hopefully we do. And as allies. We'll see you at the Ruby Palace. And he starts to walk off.
I give him a salute.
He doesn't see you do it, but
All right. Anyways, on to this mission. Still got another job that we need to do, right?
See?
All right. Board game, let's go.
Out of character, Brady, real quick. Like, do we have free? Even though we came from the tree, do we have free? Patches to and from? Like, we can get in and out the city, can we?
yes. Yeah, you can go pretty much anywhere. As far as Quinn knows anyway, there's no well, actually Snoopy would know that the only places that you can't just like waltz in is in the central location of the city. So the inner circle and the palace area. These locations, generally the guards stop those that don't have any right to be there. Typically high class and above are allowed into those locations, or if you have like a specific summons or something like that. Otherwise, most other places are generally like you can walk in, but you know, it's all down to exactly the location, if they're open, if it's an establishment, or if it's someone's house.
And also, the map that was given to us, does it look like what we're looking at now?
Yeah.
Okay, so like the areas are labeled and stuff. Okay, cool. Just make.
Yep. So the locations that are sort of got the reddish tint, the lighter red colors are kind of, you know, iffy places, like a good amount of crime or maybe hard labor that could possibly take your life. Usually goes on around there. The darker places are known to be extremely dangerous, especially for the ill-prepared, or there's just a lot of criminal activity. The green locations are essentially like, with the exception of the green oak, or the gray oak, I forgot to color that, but they're more of the agricultural centers. The yellow spots are owned by the High Council of the city, and the blue spots are typically where you'll get most of your trade goods and things like that. But there are other shops that are spread out across the whole city. And I say that Snoopy knows this stuff for sure. So as you're looking at the map, Snoopy like peeks over your shoulder and he's like, "Oh, this is what that means. This is what this means."
Oh, okay, thanks. And I go and pet Snoopy.
I roll over, waiting for those belly rubs.
How big is Snoopy?
Beagle,
He's
okay.
Yeah, he's a beagle.
Okay.
25, 30 pounds.
I pick him up and rub his belly then.
I was like thinking of like the size I actually am. It's pretty funny. The rapier is probably like 4 times longer than I am.
Facts. Let's see what a standard. Let's see. How old is Snoopy?
Shoot, I think I wrote it down.
Is he at least a year or two?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he's like 3 or 4.
I'm looking at beagle puppy pictures and they're just so cute. Look at this little guy.
Yeah, I'd say I'm 3, 4, or 5. In human years.
Okay. Dog years, you're old as hell. That's true. Okay. So you guys head back to your cart, or do you go talk to that dragonborn?
To the dragonborn.
Okay. So as you guys get over there, you can see that he's got a mug in his hand that you can see the foam around his lips. Well, if Dragonborn had lips, around his mouth area where lips would be if he had them. And he's got 2 emptier mugs next to him, and he's got his claw. His left claw, he's like digging a pretty sizable hole into the table. The bartender doesn't seem to notice as he's helping a lot of other patrons, but currently he's sitting alone.
Hello. Sorry to intrude. I heard
Yes, you are.
Yes, apologize. I heard the
How
wrong
about
down
instead of
you,
apologies, how about you buy me another? And he tips his mug up and chugs the last half of his ale. I grow thirsty. Can't really talk when I'm thirsty.
I give one of those like, you know, smack your lip looks, like, man, like give him one of those. Like, fine, I'll be more than happy to do that. What kind of beverage you're drinking, sir?
Dragon's ale, the good stuff.
All right. And can I signal? Do I signal for anybody?
I don't know. Do you? I
signal
assume you
for
would. So
somebody.
yeah, you signal, and the barkeep ends up coming over a couple seconds later. Yeah, what are you having?
Make it the Dragon's Ale for the handsome gentleman here.
Just one of those, or you want 2? It's kind of rude to just drink alone, don't you think, Corgus?
Yeah, make it more than one because they rule spy. It looks like.
Oh yes, go ahead and how about 2? 2 Dragon's Ale.
Just
for
2
me
Dragon's
and-
Ale?
Yes, sir.
Nobody else wants any on this guy's tab, right? That's what we
I'll
said.
take one. Make it 2 for
Looks
me
like
too.
3. So 4
4.
total.
Yes.
Perfect. And you want the Dragon's Ale. That's the good stuff. 5 silver per, 20 silver.
Might
Can
as
we
well,
not
I
just
don't-
have like a jug for the table, or I don't know,
Nah,
so that we all can
Tampa's
drink
with
from it?
the ale. The hops don't get the crisp. And I won't
Okay.
allow that in my bar.
Well, I figure I owe Vicar Vor this. Considering I did sock him really well in the back of his head just recently. All right, yeah. 4 Dragon's Ales for me, the handsome, beautiful gentleman here, and the scumbag warlock I have here.
Perfect. Coming right up. You want them chilled? You want them chilled?
Is that extra?
I don't know. Corgus, you charging today? I'll chill them for free, I guess. Perfect.
Oh.
You want chilled? Honestly, it's better chilled. Trust me.
All right, chill to this.
I'll get him chilled. So he goes underneath and gets 4 clean mugs, puts them right in front of Corgus. He takes out this really finely crafted bottle, pops it open, brand new, starts to pour each of the mug, which each mug is about as big as the mug that I'm currently holding up to my camera. I'm pretty sure that's a liter. Or maybe a half liter. I don't really know. A pint. That's what I was looking for, a pint.
A big
Pretty sure it's a
fat-
pint, maybe bigger, but you know those shits you see in Germany during Brewfest and stuff. But he pours each of them to where they're foamy at the top and they start to you know, overcome the lip. All right, everyone stand back. Here we go. Corgus cracks his neck, takes in a big breath, and you see this frost breath come out and encase all 4 of the glasses, almost freezing the top layer of foam to where it's almost like a snow cone now. And Corgus grabs one. Cheers to new friends. Thanks for the drink.
No problem. And I pick up my mug and go for a tap against his.
And I'm gonna go ahead and grab the last two, hold them up, cheers, and take a sip for one, and then hold the other one up to the back of my head. Perfect.
Perfect. Okay, so you guys watch Vikavor cheers both of them. He drinks one of them in front of him, and he's pouring the other one, and you guys hear Vic. Oh, that's good. I'll probably shut up the rest of the day. Thank you, Vikavor. Maybe you're not such a cunt.
That's my specialty. Not such a cunt.
I take
Just kind of.
I take a nice large sip. Yeah, some good ale. Hey, so
It's the best that they got at this place.
I might have to come back here one of these days. So,
I'm assuming you didn't come over here to buy me an ale. What can I help you gentlemen with?
Perceptive. Well, I hear around town that you need something captured.
Word spreads quite fast.
Right. And we are happen to be in the market for work of such occasions.
Well, I do happen to have a job. One that's been getting the best of my recent contractors, I guess. You ever heard of a cockatrice before? Nasty little bird-like buggers.
I have.
I'm sure you have, yeah.
I can't say I have.
Well, there's a big one somewhere to the southeast of here, and I want him alive.
Okay.
Now, this isn't your typical creature. Go ahead and roll me a Arcana check to see if you know what a cockatrice is.
Jesus, dude.
That's 2 nat 1s today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see. Unfortunately, everybody but Snoopy. Everyone but Snoopy. You hear cockatrice and you think roosters and stuff like that. So you're kind of on the right track, Snoopy. You think it's a big ass chicken is what you're looking at, but the rest of you've heard of them. They look like chickens. They're obviously a lot bigger than them, and they've got this really nasty bite. That's something about it for whatever reason. If you're not prepared, or rather, if they get you good, they could even turn you to stone. Yeah, there's a mighty big one to the southeast of here, probably not even half a day's journey outside of town. I want to preserve it. Maybe put it in the arena when all this demon lord bullshit blows over.
Sounds mighty breathtaking.
True.
Might actually do that.
If it hits you the right way, it certainly is.
I think we could do
Right.
that. Saberwolf, do you think you could take a big cockatrice?
Oh man. Campaign derailed. Can't go on anymore. We're done. I'm just kidding.
So
That
many
was funny
dick
as fuck
jokes.
though.
Well, I have a joke for that, but I am not going to commit to it. We have business to talk about.
All right, carry on.
Yes, we can handle it. I'm sure we can. We just have to find a way to restrain it without getting hurt.
I can give you some special tranquilizers, but they only kick in at a certain point. You gotta wear the creature down a little bit.
Think I could do that. Sure I can.
Well,
With the help of my mighty crew I have here. As I
here it
do
comes.
a gesture towards the
Word around the office is you've got a fat cock.
Yep, I knew it. It's daddy, nigga.
All right. Well, the tranquilizers.
I've
How
got
would
a
they
fat
be
cock, too.
administered?
Maybe we should rub our fat cocks together sometime. Maybe a little oil. 2 fat cocks. Together. Oil.
Who is saying this?
It's Reed. He had that on soundboard ready, dude. Like, he's had that for years. Good shit, Reed.
It's just some guy leaning in next to my ear saying that. While we're having this conversation.
Reminds me of that Whitest Kids You Know skit, but I forget what exactly it came from. But that skit's hilarious. I'll post it later. Yes, you gotta wear the creature down a good bit, and once it looks like it's on its last legs, plop him with a couple of these. And he reaches into a bag that he's got next to his stool, and he pulls out these syringes that are kind of shaped like hollow point daggers in a way, but they have like a release button you can see, like a trigger essentially. And he puts them onto the puts them on the table there. I got 2 of them for you if you want to purchase extra for whatever reason. 100 gold apiece. But I'm thinking if you bring it back alive, 2,000 gold. Bring it back dead, 500.
All right. I can definitely say alive is the preferable option, right?
Yeah, it's kind of what I want it for. Once everything blows over, this'll be a mighty contender in my arena.
All right. Like where you're going with this.
Yes.
Well then.
It's a kind of hush-hush thing that we got going on. You ever heard of the Safarians?
Safarians. Do I have to roll for that?
Yeah, can I roll for that?
All of you can make a history roll.
Oh god.
I'm pulling for Snoopy, dude.
No way, it's gonna be another one.
All
Okay.
right.
Snoopy, you've actually heard of these guys because your master used to do work with them. The Safarians are well, what Snoopy knows about the Safarians, rather, is that they're a group of, think of them as poachers, but they capture exotic creatures, contain them. Some say they abuse them to make them a lot angrier and more aggressive, but eventually they hold tournaments to see who can defeat these creatures, and it's honestly life or death. If the creature kills you, all the money, all your equipment goes to the highest bidder. If you defeat the creature and more so, you can end up winning a large sum of money. So far, people typically get to the last creature in the arena, and they end up perishing at the very last creature. It's undefeated, and it's also unknown what it is.
Sounds
So, have
fun.
you heard of them?
I have.
And Snoopy's the only one. And the rest of you, I take it you haven't. Anyway, we're a bunch of, let's say, exotic animal collectors. But, essentially we like to capture for sport. And then we put them up into an arena, typically held in the Kirakuri Empire, but while that large cloud is overhead, we can't really go there. And we duke it out with the creatures. If you win, you get a nice lump sum of gold, and you can double your winnings with each additional win. But the moment you lose everything. Your gold, your equipment, your life. Definitely not for the faint of heart.
Sounds ominous. Sounds interesting. I don't want to do it, though.
Oh, come on.
You can't do it anyway, not until that cloud goes away.
Cloud. Okay. Well, sounds interesting enough. We can get the job done. So, where would you say the location of this creature would be? Or what it would be around?
Couple miles outside of town. It likes somewhat shaded locations. Hillside. It also, for whatever reason, likes rocks. So find a cliff, I'm sure you'll find it. But it's to the southeast of town, from what I've heard.
Southeast.
And honestly, if you just if you find any stone statues of human-looking folk, you're on the right track.
Well, thank you for the information. And sir, as I finish the rest of my drink, nice talking to you, and thank you for the opportunity. We'll be back as soon as we can. Where will we meet you if we do capture this creature?
Well, if you do capture the creature, obviously it's probably going to be hard to transport it, so what I would suggest is be quick about getting back to me, and I'll send a team. Actually, how about this? I'll go ahead and gather up some folk after you leave, give you a little bit of a head start, and then we'll start heading towards the area. You happen to have a world map on you?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
I hand him the map.
He points to a location to the southeast. Oops, I accidentally went to kickasstorrents.com. When you're trying to swap map pages, but you click your links at the top of your bar.
Trying to swipe to different pages and end up accidentally downloading porn.
Whoops. That's caught on stream. I wonder how fast I probably wouldn't get banned because no one watches, so that's fine.
It's gonna be that one straight moderator that comes through the hey.
Yeah, I guess technically I've got 2 viewers, players in the other campaign. So yeah, he points on his map. We'll meet you by the mouth of the river to the south. And with that, you know exactly where to go, when and if you do. We'll probably leave in about an hour's time.
All right. Sounds like...
Unless you've got other business in town before you leave.
Well, there's plenty of things we want to do. But honestly, the more important matters don't arrive until midnight tonight, honestly. So, got plenty of time, I would assume.
Well, perfect. He grabs his drink. I'm gonna enjoy this one, as it was free. Everything tastes better free.
Alright, you have a good one. And I extend my hand out for a handshake.
He brings his hand, and you notice that his cloak has been kind of covering most of his arm. And when it finally falls to the side, you can see that even though he's a white dragonborn, but his scales are coated in red. And the sort of splatter patterns that sort of coat his arm are definitely of blood. But it's dried. It's like permanently stained his scales. Pleasure to meet you all. which I don't think I got all of your names.
I am Saberwolf. That is Quinn, that's Vicavor, and that little dog there, Snoopy.
I wave to him.
Pleasure meeting all of ya. Guess let me show you what he looks like now. Oops.
He looks dope.
And all these guys that you're meeting, I'm making sure that you guys will see them. If you go to well, they're under my monster manual just to keep everything tidy. But you'll end up seeing other subfolders and stuff that way you can see like their full picture and things like that. I'll make sure you have all of them available after the session's done so that you can go back and look at their picture if you ever want to and things like that.
Okay. Dope. Alright. Well, enjoy the rest of your drink, and we'll be sure to notify you once we have the proposition for you, okay?
Perfect. See ya in a bit. And good luck.
Alright, start the walkway. Alright then. Let's get out of here. I don't want to waste too much time.
Okay.
Let's
Do you guys head anywhere else in the city? Or are you heading straight to go and try to fight the cockatrice?
Yeah, is there anything else anybody wants to do?
Let's secure a room first before we go do anything. So we at least know where to go.
Good idea. Alright, heading back towards the carriage. And I sit in there and ask the carriage driver, hey, sorry for the wait. Had to handle some bit of business. Mind taking us back to that inn?
Yes, you want Ginu's Inn, correct?
Yes, sir.
Perfect, coming right up. And he starts to make his way, going through the town. As you guys are going through the town and stuff, go ahead and roll me a perception check just to kind of see as you guys are kind of looking around, things of that nature.
There's 3.
God, Joe.
Wow. Literally the worst thing I've ever seen. How is that possible? I mean, I know it's possible, but damn.
Yeah. It wasn't
Your
in a
rolls are
row,
like Reed's rolls. It was damn near in a row.
but it wasn't. Remember that
Gotcha.
26 sleight of hand.
All right, so as you guys are coasting along on the dirt path, the moment you enter the second ring, it goes into cobblestone, and let's see. Snoopy, you notice that there is kind of a lot of delicious smells coming from the artisans district. Roughly about noon right now. So it seems to be like everybody that's been cooking, their stuff is coming out of the oven. It's ready for sale. You can smell all types of delicious food. And your mouth starts to water as you got your nose poking out the side, and it almost looks as if you're about to fall out of the cart. It smells so good. As for Quinn, you notice that as you guys are passing this area right here, you see that there's a sort of like a large stone monument, and for whatever reason, it's kind of heavily guarded. There's a lot of people that are kind of sort of sitting about the outskirts of it. They don't seem to be there by choice, more like they're refugees or something, and they're just like trying to avoid overcrowding certain areas. But each time you see these folks like stand up and try to get entrance into this area that's full of rocks, the guards tell them, or you can see them stop them, and if they try to forcibly move past the guards beat the shit out of them. You're not really sure. You've never been to this place. You don't know why they're doing that, but they are. Vikavor, as you guys are passing this location, you see Ida Solseer walking out of a potion store.
Okay, are we able to get the carriage to stop or not?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to the driver. Hey, wait up for a second.
All right,
We're-
that's perfectly fine. Oh.
Are we like over here somewhere?
Yeah, you guys are like, yeah, you're right over here in the trifle area.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over. I'm gonna get out of the carriage and walk over to where I saw Ida Solseer at.
Okay.
I get out with him.
She's currently walking. She's got a, she's got a little bag on, and she's sort of fiddling with something inside. She closes it, and you guys are about like 50 feet away from her when she finally like looks up, in front of her, and she all of a sudden like starts to look up in the sky, and then she looks over in your direction. Ooh. I did not think that I would see you anytime soon, Vikavor. It has been some time since I have seen Taimar. How is he?
He was
You
good.
see
the
her
last I saw.
eyes. Her eyes look like glass orbs, almost.
Okay, but she's not.
And
is
she's
she
got
blind
this-
or no?
Well, she saw you coming. I'll leave
True.
it at that.
Okay, so I'm just gonna tell her my master's was great the last time I saw him, but it's been a little while.
Taimar was a good man, yes. Well, I can still feel his soul out there. He's fine, but I don't think he is for soon. Soon something dreadful. I see it in the future. And I see your future. And she starts to come up with her hands, and she starts to touch your face. Yes. They said the face, it gives you away. Graz'zet is coming for you. And another, you. And she points to Saberwolf and starts walking over. Yes, the mark of Graz'zet. Only he may be beautiful. You not so much. That is why you look the way you do. He's coming to finish the job. You abandoned him and his goals. He's not happy with you.
Yeah. Can't say I'm not surprised.
You have any idea, Ida, how we can get rid of these curses?
Not that I can think of. Not off the top of my head. Definitely beyond my power. Perhaps she. Yes, she has all answers. But she's hard to deal with. And the more troublesome part is she not here. She won't be back for quite some time. You know who I
Who
talk
is it?
about, no?
I do not. Who do you refer to?
Innis Craft. She the one that knows.
We've heard a lot about her. It's probably time we meet her. Do you know where she is?
Not at this moment. I know where she likes to live. But she not there, like I say. She not there. She on a dark path.
Well, if you hear from her, tell her to contact us, or if you happen to see
It does not work that way. No, in his craft, no talk to nobody unless they talk to her. She no seek you. You have to seek her.
Okay, we can do that. I'm also
I
looking
tell you.
for other things too.
What else you looking for there?
I've heard talk of certain rods that have magical abilities. Do you know anything about those?
Ha! Of course I do. I helped create them. But they not easy to get, no.
All right. Have you heard of the rod of the Pack Keeper?
Of course. But for you to get it, won't be easy task, no. Have you heard the trial of the pact? Of the patron?
I have not.
Perhaps after you finish the things that you got going on today, I could go into explanation. It will take a matter of days or weeks, possibly, depending on how good you do. Taimon never told you.
Can I roll for that, or?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a history check. See if you remember anything.
Okay.
You've heard of a thing that essentially, when you want something of like some sort of great power, essentially there's a thing that you can possibly do to call upon your patron and take on the trial of the patron. Usually it's a very, very specific, and it's not an easy task to complete. Usually it's something that's going to further your fate or your patron's plans. And sometimes it's iffy, depending on who your patron is.
Okay.
And you have darkness within you. This
How
will
do you know
not be
that?
an easy task. I can see your soul.
You
They
know
do
what I
not
must
call
do?
me Ida Solcia for no reason. I would think you would remember.
That's true.
Well, since you are Aida so seer, quick question. Happen to know of any magical objects that could perhaps increase my vitality?
I'm sure there's something that exists, yes. Perhaps, maybe, if you're lucky, he'll appear before you and sell you what you wish. But it does not happen all the time, no. Sometimes it happens never. Sometimes it happens frequently. But we shall see.
Why am I not surprised? Well, Miss Saucier, thank you for the information.
Yes,
You're
thanks.
welcome. And be very careful. The Dragonborn did not tell you everything. She starts to walk away.
Hold on, I wanted to stop her real quick.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I wanted to ask her about that wall that they're guarding.
The wall they're guarding. Which one? There are many.
There's multiple ones. Well, I kind of point to the one that we just passed.
The circle of the salt stones, huh? It is said that those stones are made from ancient times. And at the beginning of this whole city, whenever the stones were to be disturbed, bad things happened. Earthquakes, tornadoes, tsunamis, all sorts of things that could destroy the city. And now it is heavily guarded, for the magic is untamed, untapped. But I see through the lies. But can you?
And you said there were other walls like this here? Or just out there?
There's always something being guarded somewhere. You need to be more specific in your queries. Otherwise, you will get answers you do not want.
Oh, well, this is the only wall that I know about that's here in the city.
Yes,
So,
you are new blood. Soon you will learn to watch your back and to mind your questions. Someone overhear the wrong thing, you become an enemy. Make enemies here, you will not live long.
Quinn just raises his eyebrow. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
No, thank you. I have not talked to people in quite some time. It was nice. People typically stay away from me. I don't know why.
That's quite a surprise, and you're quite an attractive woman.
She
Well,
kind of
could
looks at
be,
you with a very blank stare.
Finger of death.
Does she have finger death? Huh.
Quinn had one more question. Are you located in the city? If we ever needed to talk again, or are you just passing
I'm
by?
sure if our fates demands it, we will run into each other much like we did now. Since the peacekeepers have no use of me to teach anymore, I do my own thing, which typically is drifting, looking at what is to be and what is to come, or what has passed.
I guess even with your help, the peacekeepers couldn't foresee any of this that was going.
I know. I tried to warn them, but they thought I was a liar. They had forgotten the ancients. The songs of the ancients will always ring within my head. But I am not good enough to sing them back to you. But perhaps you will hear the ancient tune very, very soon.
Songs of the ancient?
Hmm? What are you talking about music? Anyway, I have other places to be, people to see. I must be on my way, so pardon me.
Hold on.
What else
What
do
did
you
you-
have, little
What
puppy?
did you mean about the Dragonborn? Saying, like,
I do not remember a Dragonborn. You are not Dragonborn, you are puppy.
you said that he didn't tell us anything, everything.
Oh. Does everybody ever tell you everything?
I guess not.
And Quinn goes,
Based on where you're coming
"Oh."
from. Based on your stories, little one. You have not even told everybody everything yourself. How can you expect them to do the same?
I kind of like drop my ears and my tail.
That
she
is
does
it,
have a
yes.
point.
Have you been a bad boy? And I look at the dog.
No. From other perspective, he was the best of boys. Aren't you? And she bends down to scratch you under the chin. Do not be sad, you were tainted. But look at you now, trying to do good, but when the clock strikes midnight, I guess we see what you are all meant to be.
Well, I guess we will see. That is gonna be a test of our what we're really capable of.
What is this person's name again?
Ida Soulseer.
Dulcier.
Souls. She called me a good boy. Gotta note it.
I remember saying that. Who called me a good boy? And you gotta tally. Oh man, that shit's hilarious.
I have 4. 2 from Saberwolf. Core memories.
Do you tally who asked if or whoever calls you a bad boy?
No, I don't pay attention to that.
Oh.
No one's ever called me.
He
a bad
starts
boy
to
and
walk
got away
off.
with it.
Oh, well, if there is nothing else to say to her, what she's told me has me a bit concerned. But we'll talk about that when we get to our private quarters.
All right, let's get back in that carriage.
Aye, aye.
I found the map maker's token. That's what he looked like.
It's about exactly what I imagined, anyways.
Yeah. He said I stink. That scumbag.
I think he said you all stink, but you know. With that, the rest of your travel to Ginu Inn is come to a close, and it's right past this entryway. So these little markings right here are smaller, like checkpoints. They're like smaller little walls that kind of keep some locations sort of segregated from others. Usually, it's more of a way to know like what kind of location you're at in this city. But once you get into this spot, you notice that this place is actually pretty well upkept. It's Snoopy, you would know that this place is ran by a somewhat wealthy family, but they've been, you know, down in the dumps the past couple years. You guys end up passing dog shit, which smells like so, but not because there are dogs nearby. No, it smells worse than actual dog shit. Worse so that Snoopy kind of
Is that
covers
like
his
the actual name of
nose
the city?
of that little
Dog shit?
town. Yeah, of that little neighborhood. Yep. It's such a piss poor location that the town has deemed it dog shit. But you guys end up getting towards the forge where a lot of the blacksmith and weaponry and things like that, like a lot of the heavy crafting is done. And you reach Ginu Inn's Inn.
Newman's Inn.
Is this your last stop, or do you want me to take you elsewhere after?
I think we're.
Do we want him
Well-
to take us to the southeast part of the city so we can
Yes.
get a jump on it?
Yeah, we do have to do that. Wait here for one. How much more time do we have left?
If you're just leaving the city, I'll take you for the rest of your time that you owe.
Much appreciated.
I've enjoyed your company.
Thank you. We're gonna hold tight for just a moment. We're gonna go ahead and secure a room for all of us, okay?
Alrighty.
Head
So,
towards
as
the-
you walk in, you're greeted by a well-dressed gentleman. Looks like this. Ah! Welcome to Ginu Inn's Inn. I am Ginu Inn. And I assume all of you need your own separate rooms. Privacy is key, and I have just the thing that you need. Do we want fine wine selections, finest cheeses, maybe some salamis, or do you like it hard?
How about your very most basic of bath, my friend?
We don't do basic here, that's for white women. Listen to me. I have all the proprieties that you need.
All right.
All right. First things first. How much are we talking?
I have a modest fee. 5 gold a room per person. Very simple. Easy. Especially with all 4 of you. Actually 5 for he. 25 gold a night. Not no more. Out of sight. I'm just joking. No rap music happens.
I send a message to Saberwolf and say, "Is he counting me? I'm just a dog."
So by per person, you mean me, the robot gentleman right here, the half elf here, and the gentleman here.
And your little dog too. I don't discriminate. Dogs are people. Did you know that all dogs go to heaven? I didn't know that until yesterday when mine died.
I messaged back to.
Oh man.
I messaged back to him. I messaged back to Snoopy. Yeah, this guy's trying to pull a fast one. Okay. How about we go? Let's see. A couple of us are going to have to bunk up together. How about?
That's fine. 25 gold. And you can bunk with each other as you wish.
So 25 per night. Interesting. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to split this up. I'm not gonna be paying for everything.
Oh, I thought. the
Come
tab was
on, why
something-
not? Young strapping man, covered in boils. You gotta have money. Otherwise, how are you getting laid? No, I can smell it. I can smell the suave from here. I know exactly what you desire, my man.
No. All right. Anyways, we will we will go ahead and we'll pay the 25, but we're gonna have to split this up a piece.
Perfect. Yeah, 5 gold from each of you. And he tosses an empty sack towards you.
Hey, Gwen, you okay?
I mean, yeah, I'm fine. I mean, in all honesty, just to save money, I don't have to stay in here.
I'll take care of his. So 10 from me.
No, you
Whatever.
honestly don't have to.
I'll handle it. Don't worry, Quinn. I got you. I understand. You're used to staying outdoors, but you're good. Don't worry about it. I hand him the 10 gold.
Okay. I take out my 5 gold and like, here, so please put this in his sack.
Valrin puts his 5 gold in.
Question after do I just minus that from my gold I have? Is that what I do?
Correct.
Okay.
I pay mine.
Okay. Perfect. Well, do you all want your own room? Or do you want separate? Or do you want everybody in the same? How we doing it?
Snoopy,
Yes.
you want to stay with me, or you want to bunk with someone?
I can stay with you.
All right, the dog's with me. Everyone else, they can get their own rooms if they please, unless they want to bunk together with them as well.
I prefer to be alone.
I'm sure you do.
Gwen, what would you do?
It doesn't matter to me. I'm used to staying with boys, so it's all.
Valrin
Alright.
says, I'm going to stay on my own as well.
All right, so Snoopy stays with me. Everyone else gets their own.
Okay. So he hands you all a key that you're going to use for the room. Perfect. Well, make sure that tomorrow at noon you either pay up for your second day or you go on and get out so that I can make sure it's perfect for the next guest.
Yes, sir, as I bow.
And definitely check out the mini bar in there. Everything's not complimentary.
Oh, we will definitely remember that. Thank you once again. Hospitality is a key thing in any town we visit.
It's exactly what I'm heading for. See you folks
Head-
around. And he heads back to towards the back. Pulls out like a notebook, and you can see him writing down stuff as he's heading towards, I guess, the front desk rather. Balrin, as he starts moving, you guys hear like a clanking sound, and after a couple more steps, he falls forward and smacks face first into the ground. And he's like, "Ah, shit, my leg's busted. I'm gonna have to get this fixed before I can help you guys. Sorry, I'm not gonna be able to help you with the cockatrice, I guess."
Very specific.
Hey, Genu, is there a place to forage up around here? And he's like, "Yeah, you're in the perfect place, man. There's a place just north. In fact, I like you so much, I'll take you there myself. Not for free, though." And I'm gonna say Balrin's like, "I'll take all the help I can get."
and in the most shitty voice possible. Hey, oh, that looks bad, Balrin. Looks like you need to handle that. You go handle that, Balrin. We can handle everything on our own. As I'm over exaggerating with my gestures.
And Swaff would stop being. Actually, it's his work. Never mind. It's not even Swafford's fault.
Yeah, I know, right?
Swaff, if you even watch these, I apologize. But I also don't.
Alright, you go and handle that. Don't worry. We'll let you know how everything goes. Alright, and then I
Perfect.
start heading towards the...
Start heading where?
I said start heading towards the room. Just to see how...
Before we forget, I grabbed one of those little dagger thingies with the sleepy juice in it. Did somebody
Okay.
else grab one?
I'm sure they did. No one specifically said it. So who wants to hold on to the other one?
I'll take it.
Yeah. So I'm assuming I'm gonna have to do most of the restraining for the situation.
So, like, what should I call it?
Just call it Tranquilizer Dagger. That'll be fun. And you put that you have one. Quinn, you put that you have one.
Okay. Did that guy's name was Ginu, the innkeeper?
Yeah. Gnu.
Okay. Did he left?
So,
He left with Balrin.
He hasn't yet. He's kind of watching Balrin struggle right now.
Okay. So I'm gonna go over and help Balrin up.
What a team! Here, just set him down. I'll make sure that he can walk on his own, and then I'll point the direction.
Okay. I set him down.
Balrin starts to take some tools out of his backpack and starts to do as best of a touch-up job as he can on his leg. Being an artificer and all, he can do that shit. But he's gonna be there for a little bit.
Okay. So Ginu's not going with him, right? But he's just pointing a direction.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So your rooms look really well kept. The beds are exactly what you expect them to be in this, I guess, mid fantasy. Yeah, this middle fantasy sort of era. There's these nice little candles that have really good scents coming off of them. They're unlit right now, but there's enough room for everybody and all their stuff if they want to leave anything. You also see the not complimentary minibar that he was talking about, and there's a couple bottles of the Dragon Ale. There's a Sylvan Sherry wine, and then there's a couple other smaller dark liquors that even the naming on the symbol doesn't make any sense, and you probably guess that that's kind of their niche. That's their thing.
Get some good sleep here, don't you think, Snoop?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go out of my room, go to Snoopy and Saberwolf's room,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna talk to them. Hey guys,
Cool.
maybe you should take a bath, independently, of course. Hope.
Maybe we should do that after we fight and get those cockatrices.
Oh, are we not staying here tonight?
Mm-mm.
Currently, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, okay. I might.
Remember,
Okay,
he was gonna leave an
alright.
hour after we left, so.
True.
Yeah. Well, more so. Well, as a matter of fact, hold on. I peek my head out the door. Hey, Gwen, you mind coming over here for a second?
Yes.
We gotta talk about how we're gonna handle the situation with the creature we're catching. How we're gonna restrain it. I was thinking about it a good darn large and try my best to hold it, but running risk of getting bit myself and potentially dying. So he said it's a quite large creature, so I think we might need a noose of some kind. What do you think?
Makes sense to me.
I am kind of iffy about the situation, and I've been thinking about what Miss Soulseer was saying about Gratz, the one that gave us this curse, Vikavor. Said that he was on his way to come get us, or I mean, she said more specifically me, but I only can assume she's talking about you as well.
Yes, that was a bit alarming.
Well, you guys are the chosen, if what Opal said is true.
Oh, and it definitely sounds like we have the inevitable hitting us eventually. I can feel the cold stain of death on the back of my neck as we speak.
That could be a boil.
That too, but we're not going to talk about that. I've came to terms with my problem. As a matter of fact, I still have those vials that I made. We could potentially use that to blind the cockatoo, whatever that thing was called. Yeah, so I could potentially blind that, and then someone will have to find another way to help me restrain. Or I have a plan. I could give one of you guys one of these vials, and you could be the ones to throw it while I hold it and try to restrain.
True. My master also taught me a called hypnotic pattern that could possibly disable and let us eject.
Now that could actually work. As my eyes start glowing orange and goes back to normal. That could work, actually. Yeah, he did say that bite can turn people to stone. That's quite alarming. Either way, I gotta restrain it somehow. So I assume that we have to find rope somewhere. Or knock it out. Either way, we gotta get a hold of it.
Yes, we definitely need to figure that out.
Alright. Well, anything else that's on anybody's mind before we leave? Other way, I think I am ready. Just want to get settled in. I guess that's a yes. Everybody's ready then.
Yes. That's what I-
So hopefully it
Where are
doesn't
we
take
gonna
us-
get this noose that you were thinking about?
I was going to actually ask the innkeep downstairs, see if he knew of
You
anything.
guys don't have ropes in your explorers packs?
I don't even think
Yep.
I ever.
Big and strong enough for that thing.
I'll be the one to worry about that. As far as the strength goes, I think I might possibly be able to hold it down long enough for us to get our reinforcements to pick.
Why don't we just knock it out?
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but someone would have to remain with the creature while everybody else gets the people. What if it does wake back up? That would be quite the big problem. I could always rip out a tree and knock it out that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
If all else fails, I mean, if it gets too dangerous, Vicavor, you know what.
I can already see the flames now.
Burn it down to the ground.
What, chicken butt? Yeah. Anyways, I guess I believe I'm ready. Go downstairs, ask about a possible noose or anybody who sells rope. Then we can move forward. All right.
Sounds like everybody's good to go.
All right, let's go ahead and head down. I go head down to the innkeep. Excuse me, innkeep.
Yes, hi.
Do you happen to know if anybody that would happen to sell rope?
Tuh, you're in the right inn, let me tell you. I have plenty of rope, and it's of the finest quality. I can get you a whole coil for about 10 gold.
Okay.
How about 5 gold?
How about the 10 gold, and I allow you to stay in your rooms and have one free drink of the non-complimentary bar.
I do like my ales.
Do you have any toilet water for our friend here? In the bar.
Toilet water.
Speak of
Is that
Snoopy here.
a joke?
Well, sort of. Yeah. It was.
I mean, we do, but you really give that to your dog? Despicable.
No, I'm just.
If anything, at least let him drink out of the river. Everyone
Yeah,
knows that the pollutants that come out of the foraging area, they end up washing away rather quickly before they make it down this far.
Alright, we'll take the rope.
Perfect.
Go ahead. How about grab me? I'll take 2 coils. I'll go ahead and pay you the
2
20.
coils. Very good. I can do that. And he goes and he grabs 2 coils of 50-foot rope and hands it to you. And he takes 20 gold from you. That is perfect. You watch as he counts each individual gold piece into his coin pouch with a little splendor in his eye.
All right.
Let's can we step away from the innkeeper and talk in private.
Yeah,
Like,
perfect. Go for it.
Okay. Saberwolf, do you think that we could use chain too, or would that be?
We could do that too. But then again, it doesn't sound like it would be that strong, though.
True,
That's why
but
I'm getting a double back on 2 rope, just in case. And then I will also hold it down as well, just in case.
okay. If you feel comfortable, then let's do this.
All right. Once again, thank you, sir.
No,
For the
no, no,
rope.
no, 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 no. Thank you up. You're the reason I'm in business. People like you who love this kind of excitement. I can't wait for you to see what I leave in your rooms tonight. Be careful on your journey. Especially if you need rope for that journey. That's a lot of rope.
Oh, we will definitely need this. All right, fellas. I'm ready to move out whenever you are.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
And I'll walk out to the carriage.
All right. So the carriage is there. It's waiting. And as you guys hop in, he pulls off, turns around, and starts heading back pretty much the way you guys came. All the way past the Great Oak, and then he stops right at the gate. Alright, well, I'm sure another cart will be around here when you need transport back to the forge. Otherwise, it was wonderful getting to kind of hear your stories from afar. Good luck out there with that giant chicken.
Nice. And what's your I didn't get your name.
You can call me Ollivander.
Ollivander. I'm Saberwolf. It was nice meeting you. And give him
Yes.
reach out for.
He shakes your hand. Pleasure, and hope to see you around.
Definitely. I give a bow. All right. So I guess we are about to head out for this Idalian mission. Who's ready to get some?
Okay. As you guys are leaving, you do know that the journey will take a couple hours for sure. But immediately as you guys are leaving, you do see Holly Oak standing right there. You do see 3 women that look to be sort of outside, but they're decently far away to where you can't tell what they're doing, but they seem to be running around the area. Did you guys want to go and see if Inniscraft was there, or just bypass it?
We're gonna be here for a while anyway. I feel eventually we can come back.
I mean, yeah, we could. We can just see and drop by just in case we can catch her.
Yeah, because she's supposedly was supposed to be gone.
Right. Got to see if her word was true. Hopefully we can catch her before she decides to actually disappear. Alright. I guess let's keep it moving then. This money's not gonna make itself, right?
Wait, are we checking or not? It sounded like we were.
No, we'll come back eventually. We'll come back soonish. Right now we're focused on the goal. Well, I'm focused on
How about this? All in favor to go and see what's going on at Holly Oak. Say something.
I think
All
I
right.
am, but whatever.
Okay, that's one.
You said 3 naked girls are running around?
Didn't say they were naked. I just said there were 3 women that...
Then Saber Wolf will avert his attention then immediately. It was 3 naked.
Okay, maybe they're naked now. Fine, whatever. I'm just joking. They're not naked. So it sounds like you guys are on your way to Viridian City.
I'm on the road to become greatest.
So as you guys are walking towards the southeast, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Can I get a 1-1?
Oh god.
Hey.
Oh. There we go. Better than nothing. Quinn, as you guys are heading down towards the southeast, describe the scene.
Are we past the city limits?
Correct. You guys are walking down. It is a dirt path, and it is currently in the season of bloom. So it's essentially their spring is starting. Most of it is like very, very small foresty areas. Like there's trees spread out, but it's not like a large, dense forest. But it's like rolling hills and stuff like that.
Okay. So as we go out, you guys just see Quinn just take like a big whiff of the air, and he's just like, ah, yes. So I mean, as Brady said, just like rolling hills and stuff like that. Lot of would people usually be out here, Brady?
Usually,
Since
yeah.
it's like an exit, because since we're
Yeah, and
we're
you see a
exiting the
fair
city.
bit of like folks that are like leaving the city, like to go and get water at the lake and stuff like that. And there's some like trade carts that are moving supplies from one city to the other.
Yeah, so as we're coming out, seeing people coming in and out, stuff like that. I would say clear. Oh, what time is it right now?
It's about 1:20.
Okay, so yeah, so clear skies. A lot of I would say a lot of animals everywhere. Wildlife, stuff like that. Just like a normal, like a very normal populated area, I guess you would say. Kind of busy as we're coming out.
Okay. So yeah, it's a nice welcome sight, especially after being in Barovia for so long and everything being so depressing. Like, even though the situation with the world's going on, it looks like people are still finding some sort of like way to get by. Especially with the City of Guilds, for whatever reason, not being like directly targeted by any of these demon lords or anything. Seems to be a safe haven so far. About 2 hours or so takes for you guys to walk to where you need to go. What I measured out.
On that walk, I want to bring up something. Do you guys find it
Okay.
suspicious that the demon lords don't touch the city?
They don't seem to care.
Hold on. Hold on. What? Because I heard it at the last minute.
Do you think it's suspicious that the demon lords have left this huge city alone and allowed the trade to continue? Do you think that's possible? Somebody's made a deal with these demon lords? Was it corrupt or something?
In all of my time of going from town to town, village to village, I honestly wouldn't be surprised. It's a bit of a complicated community that we have in this world. Got demon lords running around, going to war with each other, and going blow for blow. It's quite surprising that they would take such a deal. But then again, is it too far-fetched? I would think so. But who knows? I am not a demon lord myself, unfortunately. Wish I was, to have that kind of power. Might be quite beneficial.
Just something to keep our thoughts on.
Indeed.
Times like these, I don't know if we should just focus on coincidences.
Alright, and I'm still foreseeing the potential of that Graz'zet fellow coming to personally gouge out of my stomach. Or whatever he does. Whatever his kind does. Whether it's eat people or what. I don't know. Could care less. I just want to keep looking forward, never looking back. Well,
That's all I have to say.
Alright. I wonder if we'll end up running into any more weird individuals. That Joker fellow was quite interesting.
Yeah, he was.
It was a weird one. The giggling. Kind of odd. Wonder what his story is. Then again, do I really want to know that kind of story? It sounds kind of like he's seen some serious shit, don't you think?
Ooh.
I would think so.
And like, either
I wonder, we should be on the lookout for more people wearing those masks.
the kind of cool mask too. I mean, not cooler than mine, but you know, it's a nice looking mask. I mean, looking like one of those fellows from the stories. I forgot, but they're some dark individuals indeed. I just can't shake the giggling. That was it's definitely a weird case.
Yeah. Are you talking about Joker's giggling or Snoopy's giggling?
No, the Joker.
Oh,
The Joker guy. That man. Anybody who says, "Hey, yes, oh, yeah, I can definitely have you meet my contractor." Ooh, like, what is that? It's quite an odd quirk that fella has. But I mean, if it gets him through the day, I guess I can't front on it. I guess.
Hey,
Well-
that's all. I wanted to bring that up.
Alright, I'm going on my rants again. Let's go. Sooner we find this cockatoo, whatever it is called, the sooner I could get home and take a shower.
So after a couple hours of walking, you guys start to see more like rocky turf. You go off the beaten trail because you see something like some sort of like weird stone formation, and you go to check it out. And it looks like a human that was turned to stone. They're missing their head and one of their arms, and it looks like they were running away. So obviously, this might be the right location. So you start heading deep into the forest, and it's about half a mile into the forest that you come to this here location on the outskirts of a hill. I will allow you guys to put your tokens on any side. any place on the map. As you see these ugly ass looking bird things.
Yeah, I'd want one as a pet.
I'll put your tokens at the top of the screen. You guys decide where you want to come in at.
Okay.
Hold on, I gotta get close. Interesting.
This is
So,
like primetime Snoopy fighting area.
Right?
Are these bird things are like on the statue things?
Yeah, so what you see from a distance, because obviously you're not right up in their shit, otherwise they'd be like, going after you. But they're at these stones, and all these stones are running in the same direction. But all these chickens are kind of like doing the head bobble thing, and they're pecking at the stone, and they peck off enough to where it chips, and then they eat it. Kind of like what's that chicken from Moana?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Almost exactly like that. Just not because they're dumb. You see them actually chewing the stone. So like they pick off a couple of the fingers and they start to. You can hear the crunch just because obviously when you're grinding up stone in your mouth, it's pretty audible.
Jeez.
Oh my god, that hurt.
Your rape edition.
So, do you guys think that these are what he wants, or are these like baby ones?
I don't know.
Go ahead and make a perception check, all of you.
Be right back.
He's still gone. Damn, didn't mean to press it twice, but... Vikavor, as you're looking at them all, they all look very similar, but this one looks to be a tad bit bigger than the rest of them.
Alrighty.
I'm thinking we can try and get as many as possible. Maybe he'll pay us more.
Yeah. How big are these in comparison to like to Snoopy, to Zbeagle?
They're a little bit bigger than Snoopy, maybe like a foot and a half taller than he is, but roughly like body shape, they're almost the same size.
All right.
Like think of like a baby ostrich. Definitely bigger than a beagle, but not as big as any of you human-sized folk.
Okay.
Alright. We have to carefully figure this whole thing out. I'm going to tie a noose on one of these rope coils. See if I can test my any of you confident in noosing?
Yes. I'll tie it for
Alright.
you.
Yes, tie that, because I've got to test my hand at throwing it around the thing's neck.
Oh,
Yeah.
also, Saberwolf, I have this. You probably shouldn't have bought a diary. I hand him a yellow spell book.
That old thing.
Yeah.
If only we had a wizard.
Are there spells in it?
Yeah, you just don't.
Oh.
Actually, I have to go and look at what they are, but yeah, they're in there.
Oh, I thought it was just like a blank book. Never mind. Mine.
It might.
Or
Yeah, I'm
dagger
pretty sure
with a
there's like
rat
2
head
spells
hilt.
in
There's
it.
weird shit in that room.
Alright.
Okay.
So I'm gonna like talk over this before I move originally. I'm gonna talk over here by everybody. I'm gonna talk to my team. Being quiet, of course. Scoop the prey.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be like, hey guys, that center spot might be a really good spot. Cast my hypnotic pattern. And I point over here to these four.
Go for it.
Okay, I'll get in position. We'll get busy.
All right, I'm not even sure where to be in this situation because
Let's remember these are birds, right? They look like
Right.
birds.
Do they look like they can fly?
Make a nature check.
All of us?
Yeah,
Nope. Not necessary. I don't think.
that is correct. And especially because you know what a cockatrice is. No, never mind. You know what a
I was
rooster
the only
is.
one that doesn't.
Based on what all 3 of you see so far, and possibly the 4th, their wings are feathered, and they do look like they are capable of flight. Vikavor doesn't understand this, though, and has no idea if they can fly or not. But we'll probably find out soon.
Alright.
Looks like I'm going to be playing bird baseball.
True. Are you guys ready to get this started?
Are there any well, how we do this, Brady? Like, am I able to like? Well, how far would I be able to? How long is this rope? First of all,
Each piece or each of those bundles is 50 feet.
50.
If you're trying to throw it, I'm pretty sure there's an actual like rope dagger weapon, and I would use the range modifiers on that for this, and you would just roll a d20 plus your dexterity modifier to see if you hit. But we're actually going to end the session right here before we roll initiative, and we'll start combat. Well, actually, I guess we'll start with a hypnotic pattern and see what happens after that.
Yeah. Can I actually do that? Or...
Maybe. No, we'll do it. We'll do it next session.
Okay.
Yay! All right.
Because Gerald, you still work? Like, have to go to work and shit in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, we're past our normal stopping point, but I was trying to get us here. So let me go end my stream. I'll be right back. Hopefully everyone had a good old time. Next week should be fun. They're gonna fight a large cock, aka rooster, duh. But anyway, until we see you then.